We're recording at your leisure.
Captain's log. A killer dies. Again we speak, dear friend, as our group discusses what we should do to track down and dispose of the killer at hand. Anon then had the grand idea to go outside to check everything out. At first there was nothing, and then the sound of the primal running towards Anon. It stops, but then nothing. then then it notices Raven standing at the window, and the primal starts to attack the wall. As everyone runs around and tries to get to the cellar for the night, we found out that the Columnux killer is actually the guildmaster's brother. As we wait, the primal left in the morning. As we came up, the mysterious dog was there again, and we sent it out to find its master. As we come across the town, we noticed that there was another killing, as expected, and we kept going towards weaving in and out of a minefield. That was always fun. We got to the Wailing Mire, where the killer threw a dagger at Flora, incapacitating her, as we fought rather easily to kill him and went back to the Heroes Guild to receive our reward. And then upon request of the Guildmaster, another mission to deliver food and goods. And as we are now, waiting for what we are going to do next.
All right. So, it is the morning of the 10th of Frost March. And since it is winter, even though this is southern Wel'Kalas is known for colder temperatures than pretty much the rest of the world. So, even being in the warmest part, you notice that there's definitely some snowfall this morning whenever you rise. You walk to the main hall of the guild hall, and Renard greets the lot of you and says, "Look, even though it was my brother, I don't fault any of you. In fact, I was the one that put out the contract. Sort of a degree of poetic irony there, I guess. But thank you. You have saved many lives this day, though. If I do not wish to know who dealt the killing blow, I'm sure you understand. But thank you greatly, and as your reward for completing your first contract, you may view this to be both a blessing and a curse, as you may have noticed as he motions to the giant box of badges in the back room. We have yet to give away any Callum Lux Heroes badges. However, if you will have them, I would like to give the first batch to ever be handed out to you. Now, to clarify,
Really appreciate
and the honor is mine. To clarify, it is sort of a tradition within the Heroes Guild that your hero badge for the rest of your career shall represent the town in which you completed and turned in your first contract. Seeing as how you turned it in here, you will forever be recognized as having turned in your first contract in the city of Calamlux. As stylistically, each badge is slightly different. He says, "Let me collect your badges." And he walks to the back room and brings forth 7 silver-colored badges. Now, you've seen hero badges before, and what they usually look like is they're just sort of a shield, an emblazoned, like an older style shield, like the style of shield you would have seen 100 plus years ago. But traditionally, that's kind of the aesthetic that they keep. However, this one looks a little different. You haven't seen any like this before because nobody's ever gotten a hero badge from Callum Lux before. It has a more sort of gothic-y design, to the point where at the top outer edges of the shield, where it usually in like a kite shield sort of comes to a slight point, that point is sort of more accentuated, to the point where it comes up almost like wings above the top of this shield, with a sort of gothic-y kind of design. and you've never seen any hero badges like this. He hands them to each of you, as well as you each get a little, kind of what looks like to be a bit of a sewing needle. He says, now these badges are magically enchanted, so that once you have linked yourself to your badge, they will glow red when you focus on them while holding it upright in your palm. That is to ensure identity, to make sure that the hero badge you are presenting is indeed your hero badge. It will only ever do this to you. And the reason I give you these is it takes simply 1 drop of blood to form the link. So if you would
just
please
one?
prick your fingers and
I'm
touch
used
your
to-
badge.
Raven's just like, just one? I'm used to cutting myself all the time, and she's gonna just slice her thumb across her brand new blade and drip it on the badge.
Wait, do you cut yourself all the time?
All the
Are you
time?
okay?
I think this
It's
one
a-
needs help.
She also has a mild stage of lung cancer, guys. Be nice.
Just
It's an
lung cancer.
it's an
and she
ability I
cuts
have.
herself.
She
It's an
does.
ability I have. If I draw blood to myself, it makes me being able to use my weapon more efficiently and attack stronger.
Ah, so he's trying to hurry his death.
She's a she.
She, excuse me.
That- Renard says, this sounds to me like blood magic, an ancient and esoteric art.
Yes, they call it,
Yeah.
what was it?
Have you ever heard of the Blood Hunters?
Well, indeed, quite a few of them work for the Dark Suns.
Yes, they call it,
Yes, I know.
hemomancery.
I am one of the Blood Hunters.
Are we just gonna
Interesting.
skip over the cancer?
Totally.
Have cancer. And she's gonna take a giant puff of the vape.
Ah,
And then she definitely has cancer.
Wait,
She's just
this
real
is-
sensitive about it.
this is a steampunk setting, so vapes are possible.
I thought
Not
we were all in this
really.
together. Like,
His-
we're only bringing her along because this is like a
Aaron
Make-A-Wish
built a
thing.
His last character invented it, and then wrote it down in this character's backstory that this character inherited it.
That is perfect.
It's great.
Can I say that my character inherited like my all my mythic items, like my sword,
no.
my shield?
No.
Oh,
It's
you
too late
want
for
the Aegis of whatever
Yeah.
the Aegis of Zevriok. You want that?
Yeah, please.
Can I just
I
say
wrote it in
I
my
inherited
backstory.
my smoldering good looks.
Yeah, I
Oh
you
yeah,
wrote it.
absolutely.
All right.
Only
I wrote
thing
it in my
got
backstory.
was a solid gold freaking hookah and a vape. That's it. Trust me, I tried to get as much out of Gavin as possible, and he's like, I give you these two things because they don't do anything.
Yeah.
They're just there.
So I'll go take my little badge, and this is pretty similar to my other thing that I got for the Witch's Forest, but sure. I'll give myself a poke and rub my thumb across it.
And when each of you do so, you see the badge flash red for just a moment, and the blood that you smear on the badge just disappears. It just evaporates. But you now have noticed that when you hold this badge straight up in your palm and just think about the badge, it glows red.
Neat.
So what do we call this? Just hero badge?
That is your hero badge.
All right. Well, I'll just throw that in the inventory.
So these are silver hero badges, as you were lucky enough on recommendation to be able to take a promotion quest for your first. But thank you for at least bringing some business to my humble guild hall. And I hope you will represent Callum Lux proudly with these badges.
I just put it in my notes as Silver Hero Badge Callum Lux.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so it's not clogging up my inventory with the item that has no relevance.
So, I'm just gonna whisper lowly where he can't hear me, he being the guild master.
Okay.
You don't think he's gonna try to get revenge on us after he's off duty, is he?
He
We
doesn't
did
really
just kind
strike me
of
as this
show
guy.
up, murder his brother, and now we're making him give us stuff.
I mean, he could end someone's lung cancer pretty quickly.
This is true. Maybe our whole purpose of being here was to
Lung cancer.
help him make that wish.
Don't have lung cancer. Sorry, you imbecile.
Cure wounds
okay,
isn't working.
So, Brandon, you have had a shit you've had to deal with for the entirety of a campaign. I have a feeling this is the new thing you're gonna have to deal with for the whole campaign. People just talking about how you have lung cancer. Last time it was shooting people at point blank range. Now it's lung cancer.
Yes.
Oh my god, I fucking hate you all.
You know, Anon, I don't know if you noticed, but he had 7 pack. She had 7 packs of cigarettes on the way over here. Now she has 1.
My
7
God.
cartons, and she's gone from 7 cartons to 1 pack in a course of 5 days.
She's
It's absolutely
spiraling out of
ridiculous.
control.
It's
Actually,
ridiculous.
Intervention needs to be had.
she only goes through a pack a day, thank you very much.
So, just a question though, a logical question. She uses hemomancy, right? As you said,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't that like put toxins in your blood? Wouldn't that weaken her overall magic?
No, actually, she converts her own blood into her magic, so it would put a tremendous amount of
Wouldn't
stress on
taint
the
it, would it?
body, but it does not taint the blood, no.
That plus the cancer. She's not going to last long.
So if she starts coughing up blood, is that like a breath attack type of thing?
Mm, I mean, you could argue and say it was some type of bloodborne pathogen attack. Yes.
Well, if she has an STD, it could be considered a poison
Oh,
attack.
yes. Well, that would be a disease, but yes, you are correct.
Hey Gavin, what is my breath weapon?
Your breath. Oh, what is it called, or what does it do?
What does it do?
It's
Isn't
necrotic
it
and
necrotic
radiant.
and radiant?
Yeah.
So this like silvery black smoke is just gonna slowly start to come out of her mouth.
And it's
As she's just
interesting.
starting to get angrier and angrier. And
And
her
it's
scales
going
are
on?
starting to get red.
And it's interesting that when you notice this breath coming out of her mouth, it almost looks like the night sky, the breath itself. While it has this like dark black appearance, it has almost like a twinkle in it too.
Hmm. Can
Hey,
anybody
Nick.
hear me?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear you.
hear
So let's catch
Okay.
Nick up real quick on the very few things that he's missed. You
Oh,
got a
that's
badge.
My background sound.
Good.
Is-
Good.
So y'all don't hear anything?
Yes, we hear
Uh,
you.
I hear you.
Just you?
and-
Okay, good.
So,
Alright, cool.
you guys got a badge that is now linked to you magically to the point where it will glow when you focus on it while holding it in your hand. That is how you will identify yourself as an official member of the Heroes Guild. That's literally all that's happened, and then they've just been giving Brandon some shit, and that's all you missed.
Alright, cool.
So, I know that last thing, that's something you really hated missing. But,
And yeah, now she has this night sky fog coming out of her mouth.
I don't think
And
she
you
likes
know- and
the joke,
by the way-
guys.
you know, like your character would know that this is her getting very, very pissed off.
I think one of the tumors ruptured.
God damn it.
alright. So, continuing on. So, all the details are is that the Pallid Elves of Messerim, just because of the danger that they've been put through lately as a result of this assailant, they wish for the first shipment to, I guess, when we resume our transport between our two cities, to be escorted, to be taken by a skilled group of adventurers, and then, of course, trade will begin as normal between our two cities, but that is where you come in. You are simply to go to Messerim, pick up a trailer, bring it back. Oh, and take this empty trailer with you that we have outside. That's, we sort of give them an empty one and take a full one.
How far of a journey is it to get to Mustering from here?
About 5 hours. I do not recommend chancing it in one day, as doing so, well, you risk being on the road after nightfall.
Is it 5 hours just by walking or like by?
5 hours drive.
That's right. We have cars in this thing.
Well, I guess.
How do we get the cars off the boat? Isn't your dock like decrepit and falling apart?
Very carefully.
Yes, so to do that, it's a little tricky. There is a shallow part of land that you can bring the ship up to that becomes abruptly less shallow, and if you're quite careful, you should be able to lower your ramp into the shallow end of the water and drive your cars ashore. It's not ideal, but I apologize. It's all we have to work with.
You're good. I got this. I've parked here before.
Just mind the 2 to 3 feet of water as you're driving your cars ashore. But yes,
Well, it's a
again,
bike, so this will be fun. I'm
Thank
just
you
gonna
all.
drive the bike on your dock.
You're welcome to do whatever you would like to try. Anand, I believe your name was?
Yes.
If you are to accept this contract with them, this is an exclusive class mission, meaning only one adventuring party may collect the mission. So, what I am suggesting is that you merge your hero registries into one, or else you will not be able to benefit from this mission.
And we could we alter the
talk
name
about
of our adventuring party?
Can
Here.
we
Should
not
it
talk
be
about the game?
Z69?
No.
Pardon?
What should we call ourselves?
So, well, hold on, gentlemen. We killed the killer. I never thought you would want me to join you after the task was done.
Well, I mean, you're a part of the group, cousin. I don't see why family shouldn't stick together.
You fought well and valiantly. I don't mind having you follow with us and keeping your room key on the ship.
You guys are
Wow.
assholes, by the way. I'm
Do-
just seeing this.
Our causes align. I seeking to redeem my people's grace, if you will. Public opinion of my fellow man needs salvaging on a mission to deal with those who would, make us look even worse.
Anon, can I tell you something about me and Vaughn? Before we became privateered, before we fully joined with the Dark Suns, I was a Dark Suns member and then I left. When we came back, we devoted ourselves from being pirates to privateers. But we were pirates. We got along with anyone. I mean, have you seen Jason? He has crab claws. I have no discriminatory of anything. You are more than welcome.
Will you be my ally in my quest overall? If I am your ally in these quests.
Of course.
Of course.
Okay. And I will join.
Does anybody else have any objections to that? I think
Well,
not.
I think that we're going to have to change the name. I do not like Z69.
No, you do not.
So,
Well,
Anand, I will
A420.
delete your registry of F43 and change your registry to Z69 till a alternate name is given.
Well, can you give us a minute and we will discuss a name now and give
Of
it
course.
to you before we leave.
Keeping in mind, if you decide to change your mind at any point in time, your name can always be changed.
I got the perfect name for us.
If it has to do anything with God and your religion, I'm going to veto it.
No, actually, I was thinking we should all call ourselves the group Left for Dead because we like to leave our party members in the streets bleeding out.
Ah. Mm. I still thought the Callum Lux Cux was a good one.
I like the calendar.
I do not.
How about
Because
the-
we
how about
we
the
have
Callum Lux Cucks?
we have members here that cannot.
This.
Um,
How about we just call ourselves the heroes of Callum Lux?
I don't like Callum Lux enough to be one of his
I-
heroes.
I don't think that's a group name. I think that's more or less a title, or like a murmur.
Agreed.
That's true.
What about
Lucas,
One Man Down? It's a good name.
How about the
Molly?
How about the Misfits?
This isn't a band.
I was just thinking that.
what about Motley Crew?
Ugh. What about Blue Ball?
Mo.
I like
Balls.
Blue Ball.
You like blue ball, then you must like blue waffles. No.
Ooh, Blue Waffle.
Oh god.
Yes.
No.
How about Donkey
We're
Punch
killers.
Incorporated?
Still no.
Come, Chalice.
What's the name of your ship again?
The Brady
Dragon
Bunch.
Horizon.
The Dragons Rising?
The Dragon's
Horizon.
Horizon is what he said.
That's way too cliche.
There's a reason why my ship is named the Dragon's Horizon. Oh.
What do you think?
There's a reason why. And there's a reason why, Anon, you kind of got the hints of Draconian from me. I am the first of my race. I am Elvish.
I can relate.
I am Elvish
Oh.
and Draconic. I am the only one of my race.
Oh, I have a perfect name.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation.
What if we call ourselves Onve Gaesir? It's Elvish for Night Keepers.
I like that. I can agree with that.
You guys would also know that that's his last name.
It's my middle name.
Is it really?
Oh, middle name.
It's my middle
No,
name.
no, fuck that. Fuck that.
I would rather not.
Aren't we all like a mixed bunch of sorts? Why don't we play it off of that? Like call ourselves the Combinationals or something ridiculous.
Should call yourself Golden Wind.
My new name is Requiem.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to be JoJo. You want to just start calling me JoJo?
Gold Experience. That's your name.
Golden Shower is my special ability.
Star Platinum.
Yes.
Oh, what
Why don't we call ourselves the Brandos? Like
You
Dio
thought this was a
Brando.
regular group, but it was me,
This is me.
Brando.
Brando. Yes. Yes.
Why don't we
that's
just
perfect.
call ourselves? Why don't we call ourselves the Mighty Seven?
Mm,
Meh.
Not all of us are really mighty.
And that kind of sounds too much like the Mighty Nine. No, you know what? Not my business. Not my business.
My clothes are not on.
Well, this is the entire session, guys. Figuring out our name.
well, I mean, Lucas, Molly, do y'all have any inputs?
I do not. Lucas? Anything?
I don't know. I've never really been good with.
We have one
coming up
girl.
with names.
How many girls do we have in the group?
So I just asked.
3 females of the group.
Three.
We have 3
That's
females in
right.
the group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't we call ourselves 3 Men Down?
No,
I was-
my.
Could have been 2 Men Down, but that would.
I asked my roommate. He goes, "The island. We should call ourselves the Island of Misfit Toys."
That's no, that's way too long.
So are we like Toy Story?
No.
Sid's
Okay, well we'll talk about it on the road. Let's go to my hometown, please.
So we are sticking with Z69 for now.
When we come back tomorrow,
Or would
we
you
will
prefer
change the
to
name.
go by F43, which is Anon here's your registration.
Just keep it as is, and when we come back tomorrow, we will change the name most definitely.
Quick question. I happen to notice the contract is actually open for 8 people instead of 7. Do we really need to have another person?
That doesn't mean you have to. That's just details that allow you to if you wish. But if you only have 7, that is quite acceptable.
No more than 8. Okay.
Well, so
The acceptable 7.
should we set it in the morning?
Man, whatever, guys.
'Cause
Ta-da.
I'll be honest, I'm
It
a
is
bit...
morning, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we woke up pretty early. This is the second day we've been here.
I know, but okay. Never mind. That's right, we headed out... I'm just saying I'm a little tapped on my magic resources, so
Yeah,
just
we
bear that in
we
mind.
can't take a long rest until this evening. So we have like another 6 hours to go before
Sure,
we can take another
I'm just
long
letting
rest.
you know I'm a little tapped, but that's all.
I've used
can
one
sleep
spell
on the
slot,
bike.
so. Well, he's a sorcerer.
Oh,
Not a
actually,
warlock
I was
anymore.
wrong, guys. It's not
I'm
the
a
10th. It's
witch.
the 11th. I was starting this as if you had already slept that night after killing the murderer.
Yeah, no, we did that first thing in the morning.
Okay. Well, then, yes, it is still the 10th. You have not slept yet.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and get the car ready then, I guess.
Yeah, you would know that if you're going to make it there by dark, you would need to leave probably the next 1 or 2 hours.
I'm gonna go get the. I'm gonna go maneuver the ship and collect Blonde to drive the car, and then I'm going to ride my motorcycle off the side down the ramp onto the dock.
Okay. So you just want to fast forward to where you've done that?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as
Well,
you're not gonna.
So
make
I'm
any
not
checks.
going to make you make a roll for it. I'm not
If-
going to make you make
if
like an
we're-
aquatic vehicle check or anything. You're able to do it. It's difficult, definitely, and you feel like that there's definitely a little more water than you would like whenever you're pulling the car off the ramp. But you're able to limp it onto land
Oh, and I'm gonna go speak to Renard real quick.
after you get the car.
Yeah,
He's still there. Doesn't really go anywhere.
yeah. I'm gonna park the bike in front and kind of walk in. And go, hey Renard, could
Yes.
you do me a favor?
What?
We
what can I do for you?
a crewmate of mine, Jason, he's on the ship. He tends to stay with it just to make sure nothing goes wrong with it. Would you mind bringing him some like fresh food and water and stuff like that, so that way he can eat more than just dried fruits and salted fish?
I can do that. You've certainly helped me enough. I'll have a
Or
pot of
even
nice
give him a
stew.
warm bed, whatever it is.
If he wishes to come ashore, he of course can. Of course, he would need to do so before 6 p.m. as... Well, then he looks at the giant hole in the wall. You know, it's probably best he just stay on the ship.
Well, if y'all need to take refuge, just understand that it is my ship, and you touch anything, well, there's not really much there.
I might keep you up on your offer. The idea of nothing but just one door being between me and a primal makes me a little bit uneasy. If I could stay on your ship, I promise I will simply use a bed, and that is it.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Jason will
Perfect.
show you
Thank
where
you for your
to sleep.
generosity.
Not a problem. You were very generous with us. It's the least I could do. I mean, for threatening to kill you and all.
Yes, about that. We'll call that water under the bridge, but might I recommend to not continue your future endeavors with such discourse, if you just consider it an advice from a friend.
Of course.
You don't want to
Okay,
end up
friend.
like his brother.
Well, dear friend, it's time for us to depart. So,
Yes, just don't
Thank you.
forget the empty trailer when you go.
it's our Bond's already loading it up to the car.
Okay, good.
I
good.
got it. I got the name.
What?
Alpha Union, but it's ALFA. Like Alpha-esque, our world, we're a union of people. Or we can go for the union brokers. I mean, that's pretty cool too.
I like union brokers because Alpha Union just kind of sounds like a whole bunch of masculine dudes getting married to each other.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have had the thought until you put it in my head.
Yes,
Union
like I
bro-
just see a whole bunch of like Chads. Like, yeah, freaking A.
Or we can call ourselves Pelor's Knights. Pelor's Vigilance. Salune's Grace.
Renard
I could do this
speaks
all
up
night.
and says, Vigilance. I think Vigilance sounds like a cool name.
How about just vigilance? How about just vigilance?
Why not the honor brokers?
Oh, yes. I do think that of myself as pretty honorable.
The honor brokers.
How about we just call ourselves the vigilance?
I mean, I'm fine with the vigilance.
Tell you what,
I mean,
let me know when you arrive tomorrow.
Vigilance is more of a verb, not a people. It's more of like an
Granted,
action.
One of the most famous adventuring parties in the world is simply called New Solidarity.
Yeah, they're kind of nerds, actually.
What happened to
They are
old
the
Solidarity?
Second most successful adventuring party in the world, behind
Yes,
the Heralds of
they-
Reckoning themselves.
Yeah, they're kind of nerds.
Agree to disagree.
Sure.
Vigilance.
As he
Continue.
takes a step in front of a poster of one of the members of New Solidarity to sort of mask your vision of it.
Again, shall we go, everyone? Silence the car. I will scout ahead.
So, before we get started, while he's getting the car and all that, I would like to step off to the side and take my brazier that I bought and go ahead and begin ritual casting to go get my cat back.
Okay. That'll take, what, 10 minutes?
I think it actually takes an hour to do that whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that in the car.
So, are you bringing back Pebbles, Pibbles, Dibbles, Bibbles, Dabbles, or
Only
Chibbles?
one name.
It's
Is
Mr.
it all-
Pibbles.
Is it Pibbles?
It's Mr. Pibbles.
I could have sworn in the first episode you said Pebbles.
Pibbles.
Pee-pee.
It's okay. I don't have the spell find familiar yet, or I'd cast another. I'd have another freaking familiar.
Well, I wish you all safe travels. Again, it's relatively safe during the day to make this trip, but just keep your eyes peeled for your own good. And there's outriders about as well, so I just suggest exercising a degree of caution.
So
what-
we'll ride in since they're riding out.
What?
He said they were outriders, so we need to ride in because they're riding out.
Oh no, we'll be safe.
Oh,
Yeah, Pelor watches over us. So what kind of trailer is this? You know what? Don't tell me because I do not have proficiency in land vehicles, so...
I can just describe how it looks. It's just a rickety,
what's
I mean, it's got some basic tires on the back. It just looks like a rickety wooden trailer with a metal frame that's just way past maintenance.
it's a double wide.
Is it a low boy?
Would I know if it's gonna actually make the trip or not?
You imagine it would. It's just, it's got some rotted looking wood, and it's not in great shape, but it'll do.
Would I know that if we had to go into high speeds, it would handle it?
That's up to your hitch, which you imagine it would be fine.
Okay, cool. Then we're good.
I'm gonna use prestidigitation on it to clean it up and make sure there's no grime where I'm gonna sit.
Well, the trailer you're not going to be sitting on.
Yeah, you can.
Why are
stay.
you going to be sitting on the
Car
trailer?
fits-
Oh, I was
car
expecting to
fits
sit on the
7
trailer.
Is
people.
it
I,
like a flatbed trailer? Does it have rails?
I would be sitting on the trailer.
It has rails.
I'll
Oh.
still clean it up for anyone.
No,
that
we
will
have a
jump
side
on it.
cart for you.
No, the Goliath fits in the back seat.
Is the inside of the car clean?
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, it's not like
what-
spick and span by any means, but it's
What
not like
kind-
dirty and gross.
What kind of car is this? A Honda Odyssey?
I mean,
Black
I
belt
keep my
fire.
car very clean. Gavin,
1984
I am a neat freak with
84
my cars, so I
Ford
keep my car very clean.
F350.
Yeah, so it's a nice looking car. It's sort of a definitely like a middle price car, not high end by any means, but you know,
Okay.
it's a decent car.
What is it? Yeah, for a
does it
minivan.
give off a feminine vibe, or will I feel
No,
masculine?
it looks
riding
like a Model T with like a copper and brass coloration to it.
So it's got
So
like
we
a
have-
midlife crisis kind of vibe to it.
So we have to squish 5 people in the back seat.
No, it's got just like all Model Ts did. It has a rear-facing bench on the exterior of the car.
Yes.
It's
A
been
non
Anon
7
would
people.
like to sit on the rear-facing
got-
bench.
It's got a driver's seat, a passenger seat, 3 seats in the back seat, and then a rear-facing bench on the back that can fit 2 people.
Yeah, I'm gonna
you
sit
also
on the
think-
back.
Okay.
That I am riding a bike.
Yeah, so you really only need to fit 6. So,
I'll
Alright.
have a seat for my cat because I feel he's earned it.
he can sit in the middle of the back seat.
There you go.
So I'm gonna get on the bike and I'm going to go a scout ahead.
Okay.
Just far enough that I can still see them in the distance, and they can see me, but I still want to be ahead of the pack.
All right. So you take off, and you imagine you're cutting it kind of close. It's about noon at this point, and you really want to get there by about 6 o'clock. And it's about a 5-hour trip. So I mean, you can do it as long as you just don't waste a bunch of time, like a bunch of time. You imagine you still don't have to hurry. So when you start up your bike and Bond, when you start up the car, the radio kicks on as it usually does, and you hear a commercial that just says, "Imagine a quiet walk in the countryside. You feel the cool breeze flowing through your hair. You hear the sounds of birds chirping. What's the next thing you do, you ask? Take a nice, refreshing drag of a crisp, filter-tip red apple cigarettes. Hi, I'm Drexel Belrook, and when I want to take a load off, there's nothing better than that crisp apple taste of a red apple cigarettes. Red apple.
I'm gonna.
Taste
I have,
perfect."
I have a feeling that I have a stereo on my bike, and I'm just gonna click it off and exaggerating, throw one of my hands up and go and just in a fist and go like, "Nah."
So the radio then transitions to, "This is Janelle Nightwind with TCM. I'm outside the residence of the creator of the Near Miser race, Delrind Vandergrass, who has finally agreed to an interview. Now, tell me, Mr. Vandergrass, how do we know the identity of who was responsible for the attack on King's Crest on Convergence Day?" He speaks up and says, "We indeed do know the identity, Miss Nightwind, and I assure you, I am cooperating to the best of my ability with High King Vinyaris' agents of the Crown, as I am also cooperating with all forces serving under High Queen Highmark. However, I have been informed by both entities that this information should remain classified." She responds and says, "Surely there must be something you can tell us. Oh, what is he after? Who is he in league with?" He's just pauses for a moment and says, "All I can tell you, Miss Nightwind, is that the perpetrators' followers call themselves the Ascended, and they're a group of psionic extremists who, well, pretty much just hate everyone who isn't psionic. Beyond that, miss, I assure you anything else you may wish to ask me, I have likely already answered honestly to all authorities involved in the investigation." She says, "But sir," he says, "if you don't mind, my husband is waiting inside. I do believe my dinner is getting cold." As the transmission cuts. So, and all of you, in fact, some of you being involved in it, all of you are aware of the terror attack on King's Crest 9 days ago. Even you, Anand, who you were in Sea Shroud at the time, but you've heard of it. I mean, who hasn't by this point?
Oh, actually, while we're on the road, since I've got Anad sitting right next to me, I'm going to reach in my bag and actually pick this up at the guild hall, and I think you might be able to make better use of it than I could. and I'm going to hand him the scroll of haste.
Oh. Thank you.
It's a little outside of my scope, but maybe you could make better use of it than I could.
Very much so. I will use it for your benefit since you're the one who's gifting it to me.
So, since Flora still looks like she's beaten up, I will help administer a healing kit to her. Have we taken a short rest for her to spend some hit dice?
Yeah, I'll say an hour has passed by this point.
Okay.
Flora, if you would like to spend some hit dice, if you need to know how to do that. Oh, wait, she's not here yet. Right.
Not here yet. I figured she was sleeping the entire time until we left, so however long that is.
Yeah, when she gets here, just let her know whenever you can that she can spend some hit dice to get her health back.
If we're doing a short rest, I'm also going to go ahead and use my Arcane Recovery to get a spell slot back.
Cool, go for it. I'll let you guys handle that.
Cool. Alright, that's all.
So I get to do 1d6 plus 4, so I'll do that.
And I'll adjust her hit points. She has 1 hit point right now, by the way.
That's 9.
Hey, how
Okay.
long of a rest do I need to take to get my trick shots back?
A short rest. Yeah, you get all your grit back after a short or long rest, either one. So that was a good roll, by the way, Tom. So she now has 10 hit points.
So healer, correct me if I'm wrong, but the healer feat, it says it's 1d6 plus 4 HP to it, plus additional HP equal to the creature's maximum number of hit dice. The creature
So
can't
for her,
regain
that
hit
would be
feat.
6, so she'd gain an additional 6 hit dice.
Okay.
So that would
And-
be only 35 wounds, so she
Oh,
has
so-
16 hit points.
This feat actually gives, I don't remember that part ever being there, where you get an extra 1
I
HP.
think it has been,
per-
because in your campaign, my character had it. So, anyway,
Oh.
does anybody else have anything they want to do as far as rest goes, or can we keep trucking?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we can roll.
Keep trucking.
So, you're on the road for about 2 hours at this point. And you notice this first. You notice this first, Raven, that you come around a curve in the road, and you see two vehicles, one on each side of the road, that are parked there with large spiky obstructions on their vehicles. One of them only has 3 wheels, like 1 wheel in the front, like a tripod, and 2 in the back. But they don't move. However, what you notice in your rear view is that when the car passes, they both pull off onto the main road behind you.
And as they pull off and get behind us, that's when Anon can see them, yes?
Yes.
Okay, because
That's
I'm sitting on the
fireball.
back.
Actually, before we passed them, I would have actually thrown up a hand to stop. Knowing
Yeah.
me and Bond have hand signals, I would have thrown up a hand for them to stop. And I would have stopped a good feet in front of them. Where they could maybe see us stop, but
You wouldn't
Not
really have had a
likely.
chance to do that. It was like they were waiting behind like a wooded section as you rounded a curve.
Okay.
So you pretty much wouldn't have noticed them until you were already past
Yeah,
them.
the idea is for that. Okay.
okay, got it. Never
It's
mind
like
then.
like a speed trap, except, you know.
Then
We're
I'm
here
just
to
gonna
rob.
I'm just gonna whip the I'm just gonna pretty much spin the back end of the freaking bike and fall back towards them.
As soon
Okay,
as you
you're-
do that, you see one of these outriders. You imagine that's what they are. They throw something, and then you see a spike trap lay across the road, intended for popping tires.
I'm going to
And
dodge
at
it.
about the time that he throws that, you start seeing dust clouds from both directions of the road, hearing the increasing volume of additional engines.
Uh-oh.
Probably a couple 100 feet off still, but closing fast.
Yeah, Bond. We need to move.
What's the surroundings?
quickly.
So it's sort of a
Alright.
desolate wasteland, blackened earth, but roads that are in not great but surprisingly good condition. You are still on paved roads that's just sort of weaving its way through a desolate countryside.
Well, we need to move.
Alright, I guess we're flooring it.
And when you turn around to floor it backwards, you see a couple other vehicles that then pull onto the roadway. And you see one rather fancily clad individual, human by the looks of it, long red hair, hop out of it. And he looks very different from the rest, who are wearing sort of ragged clothing, scraps of leathers. He's actually wearing like a fine, silken purple shirt, a nice puffy hat with a feather in it.
I'm just gonna kick the kickstand down and get off the bike. How can I help you?
I mean, are we stopped? Or
Are
we're
these
not
people
stopped.
behind us or in front of us?
They're
Oh.
behind.
They had an elaborate trap set up that would surround whoever passed.
Okay, so are they in front of us or behind us?
Both.
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 Both. They're
Okay,
both.
so we're
Okay.
stopped
I'm
in the
gonna-
middle of the road.
We're stopped in the middle of the
Yes.
road.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna put my kickstand down and go up to the well-dressed one. How can I
He
help
says,
you?
I would stop right there. So, my name is Gerard Ithacus IV, and as you can see, you are being robbed now. Let's not get hasty. Let's handle this like gentlemen. If you would
As soon as he
simply-
starts saying that, I cast Fireball at him.
You cast Fireball at him.
Damn
I
it.
cast Fireball right at him.
Oh,
Didn't
God.
ask how big the room was.
We're outside.
So it hits him, and he clearly is wounded as it burns away. He's like, that was enough. You know how much that shirt cost me? 1,000 gold. Men at the ready. I didn't want to have to kill you. I didn't want it to go this way. I wanted us to handle this like gentlemen, but no, you're just gonna cast a freaking firebolt at me.
I'm pulling the
men-
new weapon out and I'm cutting myself as I do it. You
So-
fucked with the wrong group.
So are we? So I hit him
We're
with a
doing this.
fireball. Like, do I need to roll damage for
think
it,
at this
or
Yeah, roll
Combat.
damage. I'm just gonna say it hits, but roll damage.
Well, fireball is a.
yeah,
Fire
fireball,
Right.
not bolt, ball.
Yeah, so he's gonna make a dex save for that, I think.
Yeah, he's got to make a
Well,
dex save.
firebolt is an attack roll.
You said
Oh, you
I
got a
rolled.
fireball.
I hit a
Oh.
fireball, not a bolt.
Oh,
I hit him with
Oh.
a fireball.
that changes things.
Ah.
Oh, wow.
No, but like
What?
on site.
I think so, yes.
That's 8d6, right?
Yeah, halved. So 46, because he rolled a
This
nat
is why I
20.
don't like mixing
Oh,
my
okay.
clothes up with other people's.
Okay.
So while you are rolling damage,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say, so you see all these individuals, these like goblins, humans, orcs, they all jump out of these cars and they start to pull guns. When suddenly you see a large shadow that just casts a enormous shadow across the ground over all of you.
Who else? Who else did it hit? Was he like standing by
He was
himself?
standing by himself. He took a good few steps away from his car.
Did I
like,
hit his car?
Couple dozen steps away. No, it would just be him.
Okay. All right. Fine.
So you see the shadow, and they go. He holds his hand up for like his men to hold their fire, and he looks up into the air, and you look up and you see a silhouette of a dragon. Now you can't quite make up the color, as it's sort of when you notice it, it flies like in front of the sun to where it casts like a perfect shadow. Before, right in the middle of both of you, you see this enormous red dragon with like flaming red scales slam down as you start to see the land around you crumble away with pools of lava forming in behind you, in front of you, on all sides of the road, as this dragon starts saying, I am a red
Why am I getting
dragon,
that
and
from
I'm
myself?
going to burn you and eat you.
You got me.
To turn my scales red. I'm gonna turn my scales red and speak in Draconic. Whoa, now, whoa, let's not be hasty.
What? Those shorts were
I'm going
mine,
to
yes.
burn you and eat you all, especially
Hold on.
you. Pointing at the bandits. I'm gonna start with you if you don't drive away right now. And they're like, we will meet again. Remember the name, Gerard Ithacus the Fourth. If you would all please let us, let's go. As he jumps in his car and they all just peel off.
Can I make a insight check on this dragon?
Right.
You can.
I have advantage on insight checks.
You know what? Make a history check, actually. You can do both. You can do both, but
Well, my insight's +8,
okay.
and I have advantage on insight, so it's 20. Is this an illusion?
Give me a history check, and I'll tell you whether it's an illusion or... There's definitely something about this dragon that's just not panning out.
Illusions, but not.
Yeah, that's nowhere near as good.
No,
But I got a 20 on insight.
Would you want
so
me to make a
the
a
three
history check?
significant checks here are going to be Insight, History, or Arcana. You can make whichever one you want.
I did insight, and I got a 20.
Okay.
So, and what I'm telling you with your Insight, it is definitely putting on a performance. You can tell with that 20
Oh, okay.
that
Okay.
he's definitely putting on a performance. The type of information you're going to get is different based on what type you decide to roll.
So if somebody's not from
17
this
for
area,
history.
would that
So,
affect?
with that history check, Raven, you know based on the anatomy of dragons, and I'd give you advantage actually on this one with your draconic heritage, but you don't need it with that roll. There are ways
Hey.
besides the color of their scales.
Nick, you got a
Dude.
lot of background noise going on.
Yeah, you do. If you could mute yourself when you're not talking, as long as there's the noise. If there's not, don't worry about it. But anyway, so you would know, based on your draconic knowledge, that even if you can't tell the color of the scales, even if you were viewing dragons in black and white, you can still tell them apart. The big tell for red dragons is they have the largest horn out of any color of dragon. The horns that extend many feet above their head. In addition to that, their wings pretty much stop at their torso. However, this particular dragon, while it does have red scales, its horns are significantly shorter than that of a red dragon's. And instead of having its wings, like the webbing of its wings, stop at its torso, it extends all the way down to the tip of its tail, like a manta ray. That is not the anatomy of a red dragon.
Okay, I don't know what you are, but you need to kill the magic, because now that they're gone, I know you're not a red dragon. You kind of fucked up on the horns and the wings. You fucked up on a lot of things. So, whoever
Excuse
you
me?
are, I need to just calm it down a little bit.
Excuse me, dragon, can you please get out of the way? We are on an important mission and we don't want to be out when night falls.
Well, I'm
Please.
sorry.
Thank you. Please move along. Move along, please.
Who are you?
So you see gradually that this boiling lava landscape starts to fade away to just the regular landscape, and you see an almost like a cascading effect across his body. The colors of his scales start to shift from red to copper. As he just rolls over on his back, just laughing. You should have seen the looks on your faces. I was all like, I'm going to eat you, and you were all, "Ah!" As he just continues dramatically laughing and stomping his feet on the ground.
Well, I'll tell you this. I wasn't like, you're a dragon. I'm not scared of you.
What
I'm not scared of any dragons.
What did I do wrong? Should I
You fucked the horns. The
Excuse
horns were
me.
too short. The wings were more like manta ray
Excuse
wings.
me.
You fucked
We're on a
up.
timeline. We're on a timeline. Don't want to be out at night. We don't want to be out at night. More Volds.
Justin,
Well, I mean, critiques, comments, concerns. I felt my performance was rather up notch.
We have spare room. Get in. We must go.
yeah, come with us, and we'll talk on the way.
Oh well, see, I
I'll
haven't
scooch.
polymorphed in quite a long time. Anyway, my name is I am Rustigal. It is a
We're burning sunlight. We are burning
Let's go.
sunlight.
your acquaintance.
Let's go.
We're moving now.
I encounter mortals so scarcely. Please.
Then
I start
follow.
patting Bond
Let's take
on the
with us.
shoulder. Let's go. Let's go around him. He can hang out with Raven. Let's go.
I'm just gonna go gather the spike strip and throw that in like the trunk of the car.
You're like,
So, actually, detail I forgot to mention. When he crashed down, you also noticed, in a rather non-intimidating manner, there's a large leather satchel that he keeps around his neck. Oh, actually, I came for that. I wish to... If you could just do me one last favor and I'll leave you alone. Could you gather that and put it in my satchel? Make a rather nice addition to my hoard.
Mm.
Okay.
Again, I kind of, it's what I came for. I wanted that.
Okay, take it.
If
I
you
will
could
see you
please.
later.
But the spikes. See, I don't have opposable thumbs like you. I really would like.
You're gonna
your
pick it up
help.
and throw it in a satchel, then we're gonna go.
Thank you very much. And
Yep, bye.
I owe you a favor. I owe you a favor. Thank you for your
That.
dashing critiques. You are gentlemen.
Throw him a
Thank you,
platinum.
Locals.
Thank you.
I throw him a platinum and say, "Thank you for the show, but we really must be going."
I use Mage Hand to pat him on the head as we ride off.
His leg kicks a couple of times.
Yes.
So you leave this giant dragon just in the road. He just like literally just sits down almost like a dog, like on his back hind legs. Just he watches you the whole time that you're driving away down the road. Like you turn back, he's still watching you. You don't lose sight of him until you literally like crest over a hill.
Sweet.
So, you continue your journey for a short amount of time, let's say another hour or so. Whenever you, Raven, up front, you do pass around a turn, and a couple 100 feet off the road, you do notice there is a primal Vold who is, at this moment, eating somebody alive. Well, not alive, they're very, very much dead, but he is consuming a corpse that he has likely already drained of all of its... Doesn't seem to take notice of you.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Drunk.
So, all right.
So many
after
things Gavin had planned, and we're just like, nah, we're just
We
going.
gotta make it there by dark, man. We got to go.
I know. I mean, you guys are really trucking along. So,
With the punctual bandits.
so you after a few more hours, it's probably getting up to about 5 o'clock or so by now. But by this point, you know, at least Neston would know, you've reached the point that is widely considered to be safe. The desolate wasteland has transitioned into a lush forest that's getting thicker and thicker the further down this road you drive. You actually begin to hear the sounds of wildlife, which you haven't heard this whole time. Birds chirping, see the occasional deer. And at this point, Neston, yeah, you know you're pretty much safe. Haven't made it to the city gates yet.
I take a breath and a sigh of relief.
It's funny how you just like, by the way, Neston, you're safe. Just Neston,
Yeah.
just like, you're safe.
Well, yeah,
he's
because
the most familiar with that area, so.
I will address the people in the same car as me. Well, we don't have to worry about the Vold anymore.
No.
Yay.
Nice. Did I not come in this town?
No, this is Mr. Ream. Well, this is not Mr. Ream. This is the protected lands around Mr. Ream. But we're almost there.
Okay. Sounds pretty.
So, as you drive through this very lush, gorgeous forest, where sort of patches of sunlight make it through the treetops, you see a cart, just probably about a mile off from the city's entrance. And standing by this cart, which is full of, just seems like a lot of random pieces of art. You see portraits. There's musical instruments. There are weapons. There's all kinds of miscellaneous things, even little carved wooden figurines. And just a sun elven male, which is a rare race to run into in Volcalas. A elf male with bright orange eyes, spiky red hair, sort of sun-flushed skin. Wearing just
Bon,
simple
Bon,
red
pull
robe.
over. Pull over, Bon.
Okay, I pull over.
Neston will get out of the car and approach this gentleman. Hello.
Hi there. How are you doing today?
Well, I see that you are outside of the city walls. You know that nightfall is coming.
Yes, I also know from your people this area is safe.
Well, yes, but the walls are over there.
I am aware. This is on request from a friend that I am stationed here.
Who?
A friend.
Who?
You wouldn't know her.
Who tells people to wait in the woods? What are you selling? I have money.
Well, all this is what I have gathered from my friend's grand symposium, and I have been instructed to, well, make sure all this stuff finds itself in meaningful hands. You, by the way, who speaks Draconic in this group?
I do.
Me? It's only three people.
Anybody who speaks Draconic would notice he has a magical rune carved on sort of the side of his face, kind of around the temple next to his eye. And this magical rune says Soul Bond in Draconic.
That must hurt.
That was magically inscribed upon me by this friend.
Friend?
Yes.
Is it a curse?
That's a hefty bond for a friend.
Yeah.
This is not a curse. It's the greatest blessing I could have ever hoped for.
To be bound to someone.
Indeed.
Are you a slave?
No. I serve out of my own free will. I am the soul bond of a steel dragon. And this steel dragon has entered its last life. And as is my duty, I am to tribute its grand symposium throughout all of the world so that it may better the lives of men. My name is Jance, by the way. Jance Hanaresk.
Dance. Take all of my money.
It's not money that I am after. Sure, I will take any generous donation, but I just wish for everything here to be appreciated. This is one of the many lives that my friend has lived. As he holds out a portrait and you see a picture of a beautiful tan-skinned woman, sort of with like wearing dark clothing that is sort of embraced in a kiss with what looks to be a wood elven male. He also shows you, like, pulls out an ivory-colored wand that he was a member of the Magi long ago before they eventually split, though they have reformed. This friend of mine is over 3,000 years old. I keep saying friend because steel dragons refuse to have a name apart from their identities, so he has gone by many names.
How much for the ivory wand?
I was actually about to say the same thing.
So this actually is something that has been constructed by her during her current life. Lucas, you actually recognize this wand. This is a wand that looks very much stylistically the same as a wand that would be used by Lashana Leodon, the Celestial Witch.
All right.
You are familiar with her.
Yeah.
That one, I was told that this should go to a particular person who might make use of it, that she has achieved a, not grand, but some degree of closeness to. I was informed that a young man, accompanied by a cat, wearing a hat and a broom, will eventually pass this way, and that I was to give this to him.
Oh, that's Lucas.
Wait, is
100%.
Has anybody seen somebody like that? Oh, wait. I think that's.
Yeah, that's you. Well, I mean, yeah. He's got a hat and a broom, and sometimes he has a cat. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes Molly has the cat.
I miss cat.
Well, this is for you. She has gone by many names. The life that she lived before this one, she was actually a human female by the name of Gwen Blankenship, who assisted the Seven Deadly Sins in many of their ventures. And now she is Lashana Leodon. See, steel dragons, they forget who they are. Many times they don't even know that they are a steel dragon. But the one person they know in every life is their soul bond. And I am that person. So no, this is not a curse. This is the greatest of blessings that I could ever hope for.
So, you can be a dragon and not know you were a dragon?
Steel dragons are dragons created by, though they are metallic dragons, they are so in color only. They are the heralds of the goddess Io, god Io, who is the god who serves over both Bahamut and Tiamat. Not to be confused with Ao, they are different deities. Their job on this world is just simply learn about the mortals who inhabit it, to make it better, to blend in with mortals. A steel dragon only knows that it is a steel dragon in between lives.
No, that's what they said.
And this particular steel dragon said on this particular day to keep out an eye for someone that looks particularly like me to give that wand.
Not particular right.
It was a vision from Io, so yes.
Well, alright.
Now, I don't mean to get you overly excited. This wand is just, it is just a wand. It is mostly ornate in purpose,
Well,
but we
guess
wish
it
for you to have it.
must be a reason for me to have it. And I'll
She
hold.
would know that she simply told me that you would know the reason for that wand when the time is right. And that one day you may awaken its power.
Alright, well, I'll see what I can do with it.
Alright, just add Ivory Wand to your inventory.
Well, if that's all, then I guess we might as well just continue on.
Do you wish to perhaps
Hi,
purchase any
guys.
other wares? Hey, Kit, how are you?
Greetings.
Let's give her the rundown. I'll let you guys do it.
I appreciate it.
Your character has been defiled.
No.
No, that is
With
We all threw mud pies at her.
Also no.
Yes.
You've been
Uh,
napping.
Y'all a bunch of assholes.
It's a solid good
You did
nap.
receive, what was it, 9...
We've already updated your
15?
hit points. You've gotten
Yeah.
some healing.
Neston used a healer's kit to help you heal. You need to roll hit dice, to heal up the rest. Because we've been traveling. We finished the quest, picked up another quest, grabbed the trailer, negotiated some stuff, were attacked almost by bandits, and then a bronze dragon intervened, and then
Copper.
laughed.
Copper.
Yeah,
Copper
copper dragon intervened,
Copper
laughed
dragon, that
at it.
pretended to be a red one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then we just met this random dude in the middle of the woods, and he was foretold to be in this spot to give Lucas a wand. That's
And
basically
he
all.
has mentioned that he is the soul bond of a steel dragon.
Life partner.
Sounds like marriage.
Yeah.
It sounds like a
most
sex
definitely.
slave.
That sounds like something from Jay and Silent Bob.
Just a sex slave. That's what it is. It's soulbound. It's a sex slave.
It sounds.
So he grabs this piece of art of this beautiful tan-skinned human woman embraced with a wood elven male.
Let me stop you right there. We travel a lot. We honestly have nowhere to put that.
That's a shame.
It very much is, but fortunately, I'm going to my parents' house and visiting, so I will love to give
Okay.
that to my parents.
You can
I
shove
will
it in your
give
bag of
you-
holding.
I have a bag of holding, so
I will
we're good.
give you 60 gold for it.
That is quite reasonable. Thank you.
That is all the gold I have in my pouch.
What also do you have?
Well, I have. She was a wood carver in a previous life, so I have these different figurines. I have musical instruments. I have musical scores. There are
hit the
some
button.
finely crafted weapons, non-magical, but
I hate you.
works of art in their own right.
Do you have a lyre?
I do.
I mean, would this be the time for? Is this a good lyre time period? I still want a lyre.
For those who aren't aware, a lyre is an instrument that is similar to a harp.
Tiny.
I would like.
So
Didn't
you would
like
know very well
Cupid
what a lyre is.
Yeah.
Play with one. It's often seen with little cupids.
Don't mind me,
Cherubs,
guys, if
that
I'm
is.
just over here coughing. I'm slowly dying.
Oh, don't die.
Relatable.
At least on the mic. Don't die on the mic. Mute yourself.
Have the audacity to keep it to yourself.
Do you have
That's
a
terrible.
version of the world serpent by any chance?
I do, actually. She was a warlock of the world serpent about, 300 years ago.
Ah, that's funny because I'm a warlock of the world serpent now.
Oh, well, what a coincidence. I do.
I'll
Now,
take
this
one of them.
lyre has some magical properties, nothing too fancy. But this will cost you just 50 gold pieces. Does that sound reasonable for this lyre?
What are the magical properties?
It can create
It
Uh,
stays
sort of
in
a
tune
butterfly effect.
forever.
By the way, even though it says requires attunement, I actually don't require attunement for this thing. It's not a very powerful item. It just makes basically very beautiful imagery whenever you play it. And he tells you that it just creates a gentle ambiance when it is played. Butterflies, falling snow, a gentle breeze.
Yes, I would like that.
50 gold pieces. If you wouldn't mind, I of course can always negotiate lower. All I need is enough to cover my travel expenses. Once the grand symposium has been distributed throughout the world, my mission will be complete.
Are we starting a band? We got a lot of musical stuff going on.
It's how I like to play to manifest my despair.
Now, what I have here is only roughly the last half millennia of her grand symposium. The rest it's just simply too vast to carry it all at once.
Do you have a bass guitar?
No, I do not have one of those.
Oh.
You see, she's
Is there-
spent the last 110 years in her current guise, so none of these will likely be things that you would come to expect from the modern world. Just like herself, these are relics of the past.
Hold on, Gavin. I'm trying to explain something to Kit, so just give us a second.
Okay.
Is that a Vorpal letter opener?
It is.
How much? I need a new Vorpal letter opener.
I can part with this for a measly... You know what? You've already purchased something from me. I'll just throw it in with the lot.
Are we just making things up, or is there an actual list here?
I
A
don't
little bit of
know.
both. A little bit of both.
Okay.
Is that our antithesis? I will take that too.
No, I do not have legendary
You have a deck of many
shifting
things?
weapon antithesis.
Yeah.
You might have something that I've been in need of.
Oh, okay.
An,
After
Like
that,
we do.
Kit has something.
an orb of cleansing.
Orb of cleansing. See, as I said, several thousand years ago, she did spend some time as a magi. I may have... Orb of cleansing is not in Fantasy Grounds. Tell me, Marte, what does the new Orb of cleansing do?
Orb of cleansing, it's just a large ball that anything it touches, it instantly makes it clean. I could be covered in mud. If I touch it to myself, I'm instantly clean. All it does is clean.
Okay. So it's kind of like a nerf prestidigitation kind of.
Well, no, it's better than prestidigitation. Prestidigitation can clean things up in a minute way. Orb of cleansing, I could go dive in mud, touch it, and then I'm instantly clean. Like, I didn't want a dragon's corpse to drip on me once whenever I disassembled it, so I hit it with Orb of Cleansing and cleaned all the blood up.
I unfortunately do not have one on me at the moment. There might be
Okay.
one hidden in her symposium, but I would have to restock to have access to it. But I travel the world, so I'm sure this
Okay,
will not
Kit has
be our
something.
last meeting. And Kit, what you got?
Now, by chance, do you have anything like a pipe of healing? Because I'm bleeding out over here.
Like a pipe. She wants a pipe that when she puts her weed in it, it heals her ass. Even if it's
No,
like B4, man. Something simple.
Unfortunately, I do not have anything of that nature. All of her various lives, other than a few of them, I hear Gwen had a bit of a wild side, but beyond that, she's spent her lives rather clean.
Well, do you
Wasn't
have,
there? Didn't someone get
how-
the staff of healing from the guild master?
Yes. Yes, Flora did. So, yeah.
Gavin, look up the item called Cleansing Stone.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
The orb
Do
is
you
touched
have
away.
the,
Yeah.
How much for the wood carving?
For that, I will take a single gold piece.
I'll give him 5.
Thank you for your
Because,
generosity.
and from player to DM, I'm going to look at him, lean into his ear, and go, in a way, I knew Gwen. And I'm going to whisper it low enough to where only he can hear me.
He raises an eyebrow, but is unsure whether it's okay for him to speak.
Anon's like, is he hitting on
She
him?
nods. And she's going to speak in Draconic at this point, and she nods.
Well, I've taken up enough of your time. It is, going on sunset. I will simply make camp. I don't wish to trouble your people.
No,
If you see her, tell her I said hi.
look, you cannot trouble the Pallid Elves. Trust me. Why don't you just come inside the city?
Well, if you believe it'll be alright.
I know it will. I am a Pallid Elf. I've lived here for 100 years.
I think I might. Thank
Go.
you.
There's a local inn you can go to and have a drink. Care for yourself. Sleep in a nice bed.
Love your guy.
Well, thank you. I will. I will pack up my supplies and I will.
Yeah, just follow us. We'll show you the way.
Sure. Thank you. As he packs up his cart.
I will continue to instruct Raven and Bon where to go from here.
Okay.
Oh, Wait, what are you doing with...
Navigating. I'm telling y'all where to go.
Oh, okay. I got it. We'll follow. Okay.
Is there anyone else in our party that is also aligned to evil? Because my character is evil.
Just throw that out
Surprisingly,
there.
it has the staff of healing,
We discussed that earlier.
so you can use
Wait,
it out of battle.
I was gonna use my staff of healing as I'm like slowly following along.
So you could cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Okay, Tony says
No,
yes.
is there nobody else that's evil? Because I'm asking because Anon would have been looking for a like-minded individual.
chaotic neutral with evil tendencies.
Still not the same. I'm needing someone to discuss maniacal evil with.
Excuse me.
I can discuss maniacal evil. Don't worry.
Do you wake up and have a bowl of evil cereal for breakfast?
Yes.
I mean, he's a serial killer.
As you cackle maniacally?
I had my evil cereal this morning, and my evil cereal. No one knows this, obviously, because I didn't think that anybody else I would want to share it with, since we're not on the same wavelength. But as I see him walking away, I can't help but think he's alone and defenseless and has some nice items that I would like to reclaim. But I decided to pass on it as I chuckled to myself.
Okay.
Anand is evil, if y'all didn't know.
Wait, so what's Anand's alignment again?
Evil.
Okay, gotcha. Wait, one more time?
Nope, just straight up evil.
Okay. So, evil, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Evil.
Alright, evil. Evil. Wahahaha. Evil.
Yes. But the party doesn't know that. No one's put me in a position to see how I would react under stress.
You could just tell your party, hey, by the way, guys, my alignment is evil, just in case.
Yeah, they won't know. But yeah, I was just curious because I would have been. I've been keeping tabs on people this entire time.
Then just go ahead and ask them. By the way, what's everybody's Constitution score?
Anyone here like to hurt people? Little kittens.
What are you guys?
Why do you guys want to hurt me? I didn't do anything.
Anyone want to defile places of religious holiness and practice?
Yes.
Anyway, so
does anybody here want to rob an entire bank?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good talk, guys. Good talk. Nice. Nice. So moving on.
We're bonding, damn it.
So something that immediately though causes you to salivate to a degree, Anand, is as you get closer and closer throughout this city, you begin to recognize this city is built on a ley line, and what gives that away is the occasional mana crystal you notice that is formed on the ground.
Very nice.
We're
We're in motion as I see this, right?
You are.
Can I send Mage Hand to like snatch it as we pass?
Sure. I'll say you can grab one of them.
Okay. Put it in my.
Can I lean with the bike and grab one of them as I go past?
Vehicle
I will
handling
make the check.
Oh, please roll badly.
What is the vehicle handling check?
Just a D20, add dexterity and proficiency.
So, can I call a dex check?
Yeah, you can just make a dex check, that's fine.
You know, in 3 years of the other campaign, I was proficient in land vehicles. I never got to make use of that.
Wrong generation.
Okay, I got a 10.
You still had your proficiency.
Well, and then plus your proficiency, so that makes it a 13, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
it's 13.
generally, these things, like an easy check has a DC of 10, and so yeah, I'll say, I mean, you don't pull it off gracefully by any means. Like, you lean with the bike and look as though you're about to fall off the bike, but then you realize, oh shit, as you throw your weight the other direction, managing to barely grasp this crystal on the ground.
I'm gonna put it in my bag of holding and act like nothing happened.
Okay. Yeah, that was barely a pass. Usually these kind of things have a DC of 10, because that's not too terribly difficult to do, but it's still something that's kind of taxing. So, at this point, since Tony said he's going to take a bathroom break, I think now's a good time to take 5. So everybody go grab a snack, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. We'll be back in session at 8:45.
That's not 5 minutes.
That is 8 minutes. I'm giving you guys a few extra.
Wait.
Sugoi.
He is being merciful. Run!
I will be right back, and yeah.
Who wants to discuss evil? No, I'm just kidding. I'll be back.
I am back, by the way, guys.
Welcome back.
By the way, I wouldn't have known what a liar was unless I hadn't been. So I've been playing this game recently. That's Immortals: Phoenix Rising, which is an awesome game. It's pretty much a Breath of the Wild clone, but one of the instruments you see a lot. It's Greek. Is the game is based on? It's Greek mythology. There's a giant lyre in each zone of the game, and that's the only reason I actually know what a lyre is.
Nice. Yeah, no, I was explaining her what the difference between being persistent and being
So it's a giant lyre?
In the game that I'm playing.
Oh, so you mean it's just a harp?
a lyre is different than a harp.
Sure.
Functionally, they're very similar, but their shape is a little different. Lyres are similar, but still different from harps.
Just a big harp. Or small.
But yeah, I was explaining to her what the difference between proficiency and expertise is.
Okay. Expertise is just double your proficiency.
Hey, DM.
Well, because it has the stars and all that, she didn't quite recognize what the stars were.
Yeah. What's up, Sean?
I want to know, because I was looking, is there a chance I could try and buy something from that dude, or we like already past that point?
Well, he followed you into town, so I imagine you probably haven't missed your chance.
Oh yeah, I just want to see if he has a charlatan's die.
Let me look up and see and make sure that's nothing overpowered.
It's super overpowered, dude.
Does he have a mini bags, a bag of mini things?
Whenever you roll the 6-sided die, you can control which number it rolls. No, he doesn't have a charlatan's die.
Really?
Nick, you do not need a bag of many things.
That's the new Brandon job.
Yeah, the charlatan's die is an item to use to cheat at gambling games.
I'm aware that's what it is. You can just make it roll a 6 every time.
Well, yeah. Also takes an attunement slot.
It's just a response. I don't physically mean your mother. I'm not physically,
right.
literally.
It does take an attunement slot. Okay. Since it does, and it's only a common.
You tell me, man. I'm not trying to like.
Well, I was thinking. So you can only use it that way if you give up an attunement slot for it, and there will come a time where you are not going to want to give up an attunement slot for this. And if you do, then yay me, because you're giving up something that could be really awesome for a die.
You tell me,
control to
man.
roll off.
I just made a request. Either he's got it or he don't.
This was an item collected by Gwen. Again,
So
that
he
was
does. All right.
She was a criminal.
that was one of her more unsavory lives, I must admit. However, yes, I do have one. Though this is a bit hard to come by, and look, after this I'm headed to Falthansia, so I have quite a long way to travel. I say that so you must understand. 200 gold pieces. That's the best I can do.
I don't have 200 gold. I didn't think it was going to be that much for a die.
It's for die?
It's a set of dice.
It is,
or just a single die.
It's a
that
single
you can
die.
just choose what number it lands on whenever you roll it.
Ooh, that's good for gambling.
Do you really want it? Like, do you really want this dice?
I was about to say the same thing.
I mean, I would like it, but I can't afford it.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I can afford it if you really want it.
Oh, speaking of money,
you help me out.
Yeah, I've got 114 gold to get distributed amongst the group. So
I offer up 100 gold to him, saying you did give me this scroll. So
thank you.
It is fair. And I give him 100 gold.
Do you have enough now, or do you need more?
Well, if I take out of the 114 that goes out to the group, I would, but I have 55 of my personal funds.
Wait, what do you mean you have 114 for the group?
So when
he collected it from his stash back in the ruins.
Yeah, when we were fighting the guy, and there's a lot of people that were like, I'm going to pass up on my share because I was able to get items and whatnot. So we have some people that passed on the loot and some people that were waiting for it to get distributed. So I've just got it right now until I knew how to distribute it amongst the group. So I have 114 gold that gets distributed amongst all of us, however that gets done. And then I was saying for this, I have 55 on me, and then Anna just give me 100. So I'm at 155. That's what I got.
How about this? You keep the 114 for the group. outrun the other 100.
Oh, all right. I'll take your share out of the 114, but I don't know if there's anybody else that wants part of it. I can't take all that from anybody else.
Well, I figured if we should definitely have some funds that someone needs to hold on to for all of us to share, just in case we need things or whatever, and some of us are low on funds or whatnot.
Sure.
So
Bank for the monopoly we got going on.
I'll
I'm
act as a
good
treasurer. I've never done that before, but sure, I can do that.
The guy who wants to gamble? Probably not. Throwing that out there.
How about this? The one that's the innocent one of all of us.
Alright.
How about Flora holds with her, since she has a bag of holding,
Yeah.
she can hold the group loot.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, I don't really care who holds on to it. I just happen to grab this.
I'm good with that. How is everyone else willing to let her hold the group loot?
Well, I also have a bag of
Side
holding
note,
myself.
Kit, that also means you gotta
everything
keep track of everything. So before you agree to that, just heads up.
I appreciate the heads up because I was not being made aware of this until he just said something.
Yeah,
I
that
also
means
have
you
a bag of
volunteer to
holding.
Basically, keep track of all the extra gold in the group and distribute it.
there.
I'll do it. I'll volunteer. I have a bag of
Sound
holding
like we're gonna
myself,
go in.
and I don't need much other than maybe some holy water and food.
And I have a bag of holding as well, so it doesn't matter.
And then Jay speaks up, and I have a bag of holding as well, so... No, I'm just
No,
kidding. He
no.
doesn't say that.
So, if
But
anybody,
he's asking.
I believe we should get into town, sit down, and we should make a vote on a name for ourselves and who is
Just,
going to be the one to hold the group loot.
well, just to
Sound good?
quick clarify, did I just get the charlatans die? Did both y'all put
You
in
can
100?
tell me where the 200 gold's coming from.
So far, you got
I knew
the
Anad was putting in 100, and I think Raven was saying
Where's
she
the
was putting in 100.
Oh, well then if that's the case, if both... at whatever point that Raven and Bond tell me that they have deleted 100 gold from their inventory, that will
Anad.
be yours.
Not
No.
Bond.
Anand, yeah, Anand and Raven, when they tell me 100 gold's gone from their inventory, you got it.
You get hit in the head. Something full.
Alright.
I still say our group name should be the Fudge Packers.
Or the Callum Lux Cucks.
Yes, those are both excellent names.
Or
Titty sprinkles.
Yes.
And, I think Titty Sprinkles is an excellent name. But I'm just the DM, so it's not up to me.
I think all of those are provocative, and I don't like any of them.
What about Tony's Pony?
I'm for it.
alright,
I'm sure you are.
so we're rolling into town.
Yeah, you got the dice. So, there you go. If up to you to put it in your inventory.
I've taken it out of mine. We're good.
All right.
It's my
So
first
you roll into
attuned
town.
item.
And Neston, you see in all directions various pallet elves, all pretty much wearing similar clothing, just basic, just the minimum of what you need. Some wearing little, basically clothing made out of leather scraps. Other wearing just white tunics, regular pants. A lot of people doing farm work. People just going about a very simplistic lifestyle that has become rarer and rarer in the modern world. The rest of you quickly gather that this is not the modern life that you have become accustomed to. There's likely not running water, that there are aqueducts and things like that. There's no power. I mean, what are you even gonna do?
Like home.
I'm on a ship most of the time, so I understand.
Yeah. But some of them even call out to you and, Neston, welcome home! And you recognize a handful of these individuals, because, there's only about 5,000 left.
I just raise my hand. I'm just like, hello, cousin. Cousin, nice to meet you, Arnold. Staying out of trouble, Tim?
Oh, I'd certainly try.
Yes, how's your mother? She doing well?
She's doing quite well. You know, she just recently started a garden of radishes.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I love radishes.
Oh, me too, me too.
Yeah, we just keep going. I'm gonna take them straight to the inn, or the house that's kind of like an inn.
That kind of functions as an inn.
Yeah, and these houses are like in trees, right?
Has
Many,
Anon been here before?
you tell me. It's
mean-
possible, though. Anand, something that you notice is when you didn't notice it quite that much when you were out in the woods, but being in the actual confines of the city, and you take it from everybody else's reaction that you have this throbbing headache just being here.
Why does my head hurt?
Oh, that's purely because of your bloodline. It here, take a sip of this, and it should help. It's a remedy. And then I wink and hand him the endless ale flask.
Do I know why my head is hurting? Or no?
So you know that for primals, what you are feeling right now is intensified times 1,000. The reason primals don't come to Mescarine is just because going there is just agonizing to them. Theoretically, they could, but they're still beastly types of creatures, so they feel pain and they want to get away from the pain. You know, sort of that simplistic thinking. So what you're feeling, you know, primals feel times 1,000.
This is horrible. Oh. I accept the beverage. Chug it down.
What you're feeling is it's just kind of a byproduct of what keeps primals away from the city. It's why they don't go there.
It's too happy. It's disgusting. There's far too much joy in this place. Ugh.
And yes,
I'm gonna...
what you notice about the architecture, I'll get to you in just a second, Brandon, is that most of the homes sort of are installed into these natural formations, some into the side of large rocks, others built within trees. It seems as though this city is built in a way that minimizes its effect on the environment that it's built in. And now, what were you saying, Brandon?
I'm gonna pull what's his name off to the side once we get to the traveling guy.
Jance.
Yeah, Jance. I'm gonna pull him off the side once everyone gets to the tavern and kind of pull him off to the side outside the tavern.
By the way, just a quick side note to Brandon and Sean, you have met this NPC before in the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you pull him off to the side. Yes. Tiefling? I'm sorry, I can't quite make out your race.
No one can. Don't worry about it. But the question is one, do you have a mini-handed pouch? A couple of them.
A mini-handed pouch.
Yes, it's a pouch that several people can have the same pouch on them. It's like a bag of holding, but you put your hand in it and you can pull it out. And then if you put something in, another person that has the same attuned bag to that bag can put their hand and grab the same item out.
I do have...
That's all it does.
Just one pair. I realize your group is quite large. But yes, this is something that I do have.
Wonderful. And I know you wanted to say something earlier. We are now here free to speak. So what was on your mind?
How is it that you are familiar with the life of Gwen?
My grandfather. Now, no one knows this, but my grandfather was the Aaron Black. So try to keep it down a little bit.
The legendary engine of gluttony.
Of course.
He grabs your hand with both of his and over enthusiastically in a way that kind of like hurts your arm to a point, like shakes your hand up and down. It is a sincerest honor to make your acquaintance.
No, trust me. I'm here to make my own name. Don't think of me as anything more than just Raven.
Of course, of course.
You're going to Falfanzia, are you not?
Yes, I am.
What is your business in Falfanzia?
I am called to the Weave March. I feel as though there will be those who will appreciate this symposium there. I am to visit the Eladrin.
Good, wonderful. Take care. And here. I'm going to pull out of my pouch a pseudo-dragon scale and hand it to him.
He inspects it. And you imagine this guy, just because of the connection he has, is probably, maybe not quite as much, but at least close to as much of an expert on dragons as you are. Just because of a similar heritage. This is the scale of a pseudo-dragon. That is remarkable. They native to the Weave March, I believe.
And the pseudo-dragon's going to kind of pop out, and I'm going to pet her.
What is her name?
As I blank on her name.
It was, as I blank on the name. It's like Nova or something like that.
Yeah.
Not
I need to put it in my binder.
Yeah.
But I'll just tell her the name. Tell him the name.
Aurora.
Aurora. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Her name is Aurora. Yes, that is one of her skills. Take it to the Weave March. It'll help you get through.
Thank you.
And here's 25 gold for the pouches.
Well, it was a little, could you make that possibly 100? These,
yes.
This is the only pair that I have.
Of course. And I'm going to hand him another 100 on top.
So 125?
Yep.
You are far too generous. At least take the excess.
No, you're good. Take it, trust me.
What was your name again?
Raven Sailwind.
I will remember that name, rest assured. I'm sure I will be hearing it much in the future.
Of course, and if we ever cross paths again, don't forget to say hello.
Oh, I will gladly do so. And madam, it has been a sincerest honor to meet you on this day.
You as well. And I'm just gonna nod and walk inside.
Okay. What does anybody else got something they want to do before they walk into this? It's sort of a residence that kind of doubles as an inn. It's built inside of a large tree, as most of these structures are. To those of you proficient in Arcana or Religion, either one, you would know that many of these buildings are constructed out of Elven high mat.
So, knowing about the inn and the tavern kind of area and these people, there's a certain someone that I'm trying to not be seen by. And so I'm going to raise up my hood and get real close to Lucas and just whisper to him, Lucas, I need you to listen to me carefully. If you see someone who looks exactly like me, do not be afraid, and do not draw his ire.
Do you have close family?
I have a question.
I have, well, I mean, this entire town is my family, but...
Sure, but like a brother or someone that looks just like you?
I do.
And
he is not nice.
Is he just not nice to you, or just not nice in general?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I'll keep it
Hey,
on.
Lucas.
Hmm?
I have obtained something for us.
Hey, hold on one
Right.
second. Let's put a pin in that, Brandon, because
Okay.
Marte had something he wanted to say.
Oh, sorry.
I had a question. That pouch thing, I've not heard of it. What is it?
So a mini-handed pouch is basically an item. It's almost like a shared bag where anything you put in that pouch, it doesn't have like an expanded carrying capacity or anything. It's just a pouch, but whoever possesses the other one of the other connected pouches can reach into the bag and grab anything else in that bag that somebody else puts in it within a certain number of feet. There is a distance limit, which I'm forgetting what it is.
That's not a
Yeah.
D&D
Yeah.
Beyond. I've never heard of it.
It's usually it's an artificer thing. Artificers make them, and you can connect up to I think it's 8 of them. You can connect up to 8 at a time, and it's a larger pouch. It's not like just a regular pouch. It's a little bit of a larger pouch. It's not like a bag of holding.
No,
But
it
you can put,
doesn't
like-
have like an expanded interior space, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Right. It's
Older
not a bag of
older
holding.
editions used to have it, and you could put like a book or like a small book or a necklace, some rings, documents, like paperwork. You couldn't like drop a sword in there or something like
No, but
that.
you can
Yeah,
put
you
stuff
could.
like group loot for like gold and stuff like that.
Yeah,
My thought was of getting them was so that way we could put the group gold in it, so that way we can each grab from it.
And you can grab additional bags and connect them to each other, but for now you just have the pair. But you can always add additional bags.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
And they don't hold up an attunement slot. They just attune to each other.
Yeah. And again, it's not like a bag of holding. It doesn't have a large interior space like a bag of holding has.
No,
Pretty
it's-
much, it can hold what it looks like it can hold.
So gold, jewelry, some small things that we can actually, hey, we need gold. If we're not together, we can be able to be like, hey, we're getting so and so, and then you just like drop a note that we took the gold.
Okay, so that would just be really good for our group loot.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was
Okay.
trying to get them.
Okay,
Because I talked
That
to
makes
Gavin about
sense.
getting these before the game even started.
Don't
Okay.
forget that.
No, I really like that
the
idea.
pouches to your inventory.
So, and I'm going to explain all this to Lucas and hand him the bag, and then tie the other one to my belt.
Okay.
Well, all right.
So
this way you
add
can share loot.
mini-handed bag to your inventory, Lucas. Just make sure you do it. If you don't add it, you don't have it.
Many-handed bag.
Or mini-handed pouch, whatever you want to call it.
And then we can just put whatever is in it underneath, like the gold and all that stuff. Make it a freaking
Bank.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, put in your thing for like a tag for whatever, so that way it's a location. Put it as a location. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'll organize it, man. I'm pretty good at organizing lots of stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
figured. That's why I figured you could have it.
You didn't
Alright.
have a
That way,
giant
eventually
inventory
each
with
one-
hundreds of things in it that you kept perfectly organized that you could find things in, but nobody else could?
Yep.
Hey, that was me too, Gavin.
Yeah. It's a nightmare for the DM to find things in your inventory, but at least as long as you guys can find things.
Alright, so that being said, that 114 gold, I know Tony was saying he could keep up with it. I'll just put it in this bag if you're good with that, Tony. Or Neston.
yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we weren't like double dipping. If I wrote it down, I had it, and you said you had it, so there we go. Cool.
No, nobody told me that they handed it to me, so I didn't write down nothing.
And every time you put something in it, just let me know so I can put it on my inventory.
Well, I'm putting the 114 gold in there now.
Cool.
So did anybody else have anything before we get to the inn? All right, so you open what looks to be just a door made of tree bark into what appears to be a hollowed out elven high magic tree. As you walk in, it it's sort of a mixed appearance when you open this door, as it looks to just be somebody's living room with a crudely constructed bar near the back of it. It's literally like if a mixture. It looks exactly like what it is. Like somebody took their living room and turned half of it into a bar.
Hey, Gavin.
What's up?
Gavin, one thing before I didn't get a chance because I was doing things. One thing before we get into this thing, is this town so goody two shoes that I see no thieves camp symbols anywhere around
No,
here?
you don't see a damn thieves' camp symbol.
Okay, I just wanted
You
to know that.
imagine that no criminal organization would have any degree of presence here.
Okay.
So, yeah, all in all, these are just a very low-key, sort of just simple life living bunch of religious elves.
What are you gonna steal? Somebody's radishes?
You gonna steal some cabbage? My cabbages! Or whatever. For those who've seen
Steal all their carrots.
Okay, so the description of the inn, it's like some dude's living room.
It's a living room with a lot of natural-looking furniture. Even the table itself appears to be like you couldn't move it. It's just a growth of wood out of the ground of the interior of this establishment that makes a somewhat flat surface that resembles a table. There's basically just lit by candlelight. By this point, the sun's going down. There is some light snowfall, though not as it was whenever you were leaving Callum Lux. But some light snowfall nonetheless. There's a campfire going in the fireplace. All in all, it's quite beautiful. Definitely somewhere that you'd want to stay on, like a retreat or something like that. But when you walk into this place, you see two pallid elven individuals. So, one immediately taking notice. Ah, the heroes. It is a pleasure to make your
We just
acquaintance.
got booted like hell.
You got booted?
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep.
Just keep going.
All right,
Keep going.
we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Neston, it is so good to see you. You know this to be Avarn, one of the village elders. You know, Neston, I heard the most dreadful news. That there was a dragon about. Did you hear that, Neston? It's so terrifying. I think I could faint.
Oh, well, it was just one of those tricky copper dragons, actually. He was just having a good old ruse in the middle of the road, blocking supply lines. Now, there were bandits, several of them.
Well, that is quite rude. Why would this dragon do that?
Well, he scared away the bandits, you see. He was tricking them.
Well, that is marvelous news. When I heard that there were bandits about, and I knew you were on your way, I was so worried. Oh, Neston, I think I can feel it again. I think I'm about to faint.
I start fanning him. I take my hat and or my mask, and I start fanning his face. It's okay, Uncle. I have you.
Thank you, Neston. It's just, you know, the news was so dreadful. I feared for your safety. I would have been dreadfully terrified if I had been in that situation.
Yes, I myself have found myself in those same situations several times, but luckily I have my friends to rely on and hide behind.
Indeed, they are good friends. Now, Neston, I'm sure he speaks to the rest of you, has displayed a marvelous degree of bravery since you have made his acquaintance. I know he has.
I casted a spell at a bad man, and then they murdered him.
Raven's gonna kind of scoff.
Oh, that's right, Neston. I heard that you were there in King's Crest when those rapscallions attacked the square. Neston, I think I'm going to faint again.
No! Hurry! And Anon, bring us the medicine, please. Anon, I think I'm going to faint as well. His emotions are waiting on me.
And does not offer his hand to grab you.
You know those like little baby billy goats where like you startle them and they just like faint and fall over? I feel like this is just the family of that.
There's a family of fainting goats.
So
Caught
this
me like,
other
"What?"
elven female individual walks over, and she's. You mean like literally putting the baby to bed, or are you talking about in the game? Either one would be appropriate. Never mind. I know you're talking in real life. So this other female elven individual walks over and she says, "Neston, it is so good to see you. You've been through so much lately, haven't you? I've heard of your escapades, and well, I am quite sympathetic." You
Thank you.
recognize this to be, what is
My
her name? What is her name?
cousin Sarah.
Celissa is her name.
Dude, I was so close.
You were pretty close.
Well, hello, cousin. Look, cousins, I do not mean to be brash and forward, like my mother, but we do have, a job to do here. We were delivering an empty trailer, and we need to pick up a fresh set of supplies. The people in Columnlux are in desperate need for our help.
Oh, of course.
It is our duty as Pallet Elves to help.
That is so courteous of you, Neston. You went and you volunteered to be a hero, which is dreadfully frightening, and then you take this mission to pass by the Wailing Mire of all places to bring these supplies to those in need. Oh, Neston, it's so beautiful. I think I could cry.
Yes, we all do what we can.
It's just so beautiful.
I'm just gonna nudge a nod and be like, "You want to go step outside?" I don't know he's not here, but you want to just step outside. This is giving me brain cancer.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow them.
Well, you already
Number
have
two.
cancer, so.
Flora's gonna follow as well.
Okay.
She has a mouthful of food.
Oh, Yvonne, we also need rooms if we have extra for my friends here, and at first light we will be leaving, if possible.
Oh, you do not wish to stay with your mother, father?
Oh
and
no!
brother?
Oh no! I will stay with my mother and my father. I hope that my brother has guard duty tonight. But my friends will stay, if they wish, here.
Well, of course, we have rooms already prepared upstairs. You know, we keep these rooms in tip-top shape, just in case people come in that we weren't expecting.
Sure.
Your friends are more than welcome. I am Yvonne, and this is my wife, Celissa, and welcome to our wonderful home. We do hope you make yourselves comfortable.
Cousins, this is actually Anan over here. Wait, Lucas, Anan, where are y'all going?
Oh, sorry, did you need us? I was just gonna get a breath of fresh air.
Well, yeah, so we were making introductions.
Yeah, hey. So, I'm Lucas Kazai, friend of your son's here.
He is a powerful witch.
It's true, I'm
well,
the Brimstone
you flatter
Witch.
me.
But, again, Lucas is just usually what I go by.
Brimstone Witch? Sounds, you don't. Brimstone, that is commonly associated with. You are not a demon, are you? That would be marvelously frightening.
No. No, that would be devils. Demons are a whole nother thing.
I can. It is difficult to keep track. I do apologize, but you are not a devil, or a demon, or a being of any fiendish. Not that it would matter if you were a tiefling or the like. We of course accept everybody, but you do not harbor evil in your heart, correct?
I mean, I'm not the most innocent guy, but I'm not really trying to do anything evil.
Oh, well, it is great to make your acquaintance, Lucas. I am Yvonne, and this is my wife, Celissa. Welcome to our home.
Well, thank you for your hospitality.
You are quite welcome. We have a pot of vegetable stew over the fire if you're hungry. Would you like something to drink? Coffee, tea, ale?
Coffee would be fine for me.
Of course, just started a fresh pot.
I'll take some tea.
I'm Raven, Selwyn. By the way, my scale's
pleasure.
gonna look like a chromatic dragon.
They're actually not phased by this. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance,
I'm back.
Mrs. Raven. And pointing at you, Anand. And who is this gentleman here? I assume you're from Callum Lux.
He is our cousin, Anon. Yes,
Hello, cousin Anand. I am Avan, and this is my wife, Celissa. Welcome to our home. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you for the welcomes. I am across the way.
Indeed, and so the plight of your people, we are most sympathetic. We exist only to serve, only to help those who are in need. And we are more than happy to send these supplies to Callum Lux.
I do have
sorry.
a request. I have a horrible headache. Does anyone have anything to alleviate my pain?
We have some fine herbal teas. We have ale. I believe if either one may suit your fancy.
If you give me some time, I might be able to make something for you, but it's going to take me a minute.
Okay, because it feels like someone is driving a bolt through my brain.
Yes, I am. My sincerest apologies. This is the only thing that keeps us safe from the primals, and it's just... It's so unfortunate that you must feel this way when you visit. I do wish we could make you feel more welcomed. Is there anything that we can do?
Actually, I have 2 questions. One, is there a space I can set up and do a little bit of work here?
Oh, by all means. He walks over to his table that he had literally just set up to have dinner and starts removing the plates from it. We'll eat over here.
You don't need to do all that. It's just honestly a little bit of...
I insist. This table is yours.
Oh.
Use it for whatever you would like. As they move over to this little coffee table and put their bowls down.
Sure. In the meantime, just to clarify, we were sent here to find a merchant named Davril. Is that someone that you know in town?
Oh yes, indeed. Indeed, Davril is the one who farms the supplies, who is the one who makes the trailers up, stocks it with food, wanders the wooded forest, and gathers the mana crystals to send back to Calamlux. Yes.
Okay. Well, if maybe you could point us in the right direction later. And if you're all fine, I'm just gonna see if I can whip something up here. And I'm gonna reach into my bag and take out these small, tiny glass cube and wave my hands over it, and it's just gonna continuously expand and expand and expand until it becomes an entire full alchemy kit.
What interesting sorcery, they say.
Well, that's us witches have a few tricks up our sleeve. But continue on. I'm just gonna be doing a little bit of alchemy and concoction making here, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. Can I get you anything? Would you like a bowl of stew? Can I get you a drink?
Just the coffee for now would be fine for me, but I'll let you continue on getting reacquainted with your son.
Well, he is unfortunately not exactly a son of mine, though we all share blood, but I would be damn proud if he was.
Oh, thank you so much, cousin. You know, your hospitality and generosity here, I have to speak of you so highly to my father when I see him.
Well, thank you so much for your praise, Neston. Your words know no bounds. I am honored by your praise, and I will continue to do my best to serve the people of this world.
Cousin, that is high praise. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anand. Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you after all these years.
I just hug him.
Oh, he hugs you back.
And then I also grab Lucas and bring him in for a group hug.
Celissa comes in for a group
this shit, I'm out.
Yes.
Oh, Anon.
Yes.
Here, take this, and I'm gonna throw him the mana crystal.
And Anand, you are feeling rather thirsty at this moment, as you have not fed today. And it's getting into the late evening. In fact, you're even starting to feel a little stiff.
Mage Hand grabs it, puts it with the others in his pouch, and he's like, well, excuse me, I'm going to step out for some fresh air. Please, whenever you have the remedy, Just give me a shout and I'll come back.
Yeah,
I'll step out with you, Anon. I need a cigarette.
And however long it takes with the stuff that I have, I'm gonna basically making like goodies powder, just some headache, something to alleviate that.
I'm gonna step
no
out.
tangible benefit, but some pain relief. So.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
He has his cigarette and discreetly have a crystal.
Okay.
Inside, because how do I consume the mana crystals? I never asked that.
You basically just impale it with your spike. You just pierce it.
And I do it within my sleeve, so it's not, obvious.
Okay. And while it definitely doesn't make it go away, your headache becomes slightly more tolerable by a minuscule amount. You kind of notice it.
Right.
Still there. And you feel your muscles stop tensing, your bones stop stiffening up. You imagine you were only probably a couple hours away from petrification, so it's very much a relief to have this.
Yes, that's something to take the edge off. I guess this is somewhat like my cigarette. I suppose we're having bonding time.
Project. Okay, gotcha.
I understand we are different in multiple different ways, but I'm sure we can find similarities in ourselves.
Agreed. It's nothing. Civility can't help.
By the way, Neston, Celissa looks at you and says, "She does know those are bad for you, right?"
Fuck you, Kevin.
You must be talking about the dragon.
Yes,
woman.
the
Yes,
apparatus that
unfortunately,
she is smoking outside. Those are bad for you, doesn't she know?
unfortunately, she's in a state of denial due to the cancer in her lungs.
Oh no, that is. Varn
It's
says,
okay.
That is dreadful. We must help her. We cannot
It's okay.
allow her to pass-
She's moving well. I think that she will be in acceptance soon. Things are good. I've been caretaking for her. I've made a breathing apparatus of sorts to help alleviate some of the lung pain.
You are so kind, Neston. That is
Yes,
that is so
thank
sad.
you.
That is so dreadfully sad. As you see Varn start crying again.
Now, is there any way that y'all could have the trailer brought over here for in the morning? We can move it easier. We do have vehicles parked outside, and an empty trailer we brought with us to load up for the next shipment.
Oh, of course, we will have that brought. We will have it attached to your vehicle. We will have everything ready for you in the morning.
Oh, thank you so much. I will not be staying here. Lucas. This is Molly. And then, I just look up and up and up. This is our friend Molly.
Hello, Molly. Welcome to our home. It is... Wow, you're a big one, aren't you?
Yeah, it's surprising it took y'all so long to see me. It's a little awkward.
But you're
now.
just... You're so quiet.
No.
It's... While what you have in size, I must admit, lack in your standing. But very much welcome to our home. I was so rude for not acknowledging you. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me.
It's okay. Strangely enough, it happens more. It's more common, I suppose. I'm a bit of a wallflower.
Well, I will gather pillows and additional padding. I wish to extend the bed you will be sleeping in so it can accommodate your height. I do give you my sincerest apologies. The beds you might find to be a little small, but we can help with that.
I can sleep on the floor.
No, I will have none of that. I would give you my own bed before I would allow you to sleep on the floor.
Oh, you're so generous, cousin.
It is what we do. It is our place in this world.
Cousin, I will be departing now, but forever may the Father's light shine upon you throughout your days.
Indeed, may the grace of the Trinity guide you through your every action.
And then I'll turn to his wife and I'll say, and may the night of the sweet and gracious mother keep watch over you.
And may the light of Pelor forever guide your path.
I will bow and I will turn to take leave.
Okay. So,
just so y'all know, me and Gavin have like 30 different phrases to say back and forth to each other, so this can go a long time.
Oh my god.
Nand is so happy he's outside.
So is Raven.
I'm just sitting here watching what's going on as my ears just twitch and my tail's twitching.
The whole point of this was to make you think, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And thing is Flora wasn't even introduced.
Yeah.
Did she even go inside?
Yeah, I thought she was outside.
Oh.
No, she was inside.
Oh, well then
everyone
of course
else.
they will acknowledge the shit out of you as they look at you. Oh, and hello, Shifter One. It is so great that you are here. This is my wife, Celissa, and I am Yvonne. Welcome to our humble home. Please do make yourself welcome.
I just kind of like look at them all wide-eyed and bewildered, just twitching my tail, and I just nod.
Would you like a coffee, tea, ale? We even have some fresh squeezed juice.
Juice sounds good. I'll take one of those.
Oh, very well, very well. Squeezed from the finest apples grown in this very forest.
Perfect. It sounds delicious.
I do hope you will find it to be so.
As I just take a sip.
It's pretty good. It's sweet.
It's sweet, but I don't drink like everyone else does. I just kind of like hold it close to me and just stick my tongue in it just a few times.
Just lap at it?
Just a little bit, and then once I'm like okay with it, I'll drink it.
Yeah, I mean it's pure. There's even little like flakes of apples that are kind of floating around in it that got through whenever they were juicing it. It's some good juice.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, who's up to see my family?
I just kind of bounce up. I'm like, I'll be right back, guys, and I trot outside.
Man, I would, but this is a very intrinsic and delicate process of what I'm working here. I'm pretty much tied up with this.
No, Lucas, you are one of my oldest friends. You have to come. We will wait. I will wait right here.
It is
right
no
outside the door.
problem for us to wait. Lucas, would you like a refill of that coffee?
I mean, I hadn't even had a chance to really drink.
You
No,
notice
I'm good.
you've taken a few sips and it's not quite full.
I'm okay. Thank you. Oh, you know what? Oh, man, I'm already getting distracted talking to you here. I gotta just focus on this and nothing else for the time being. Thank you.
Lucas! I'm just screaming from outside. Come on!
Cast fireball.
Molly?
myself.
Lucas?
What?
You two have to come meet my family.
They overhear this, and Avarn says, "Well, Lucas, you might be being a little rude. You can see he's in the middle of something. Perhaps you give him a little bit of time, and then you go meet your family."
Oh, you are absolutely right, Yvonne. Pelor, forgive me. And I just take a seat on the ground.
He takes a seat on the ground, and Pelor bless this child, for he has exhibited a small degree of rudeness, though I believe this is not a typical transgression, and by your divine light, please guide us all to a brilliant future.
All right, Gavin, I know you're
I
having a
imagine
fun
there's
time,
some
but I'm
eyebrow
like
twitching during
legit,
it.
like I feel my brain starting to vomit from this.
Okay, all right. So we'll fast forward.
God.
Cool.
So about an
Oh,
hour
God.
passes by. You finished what you were doing. You get his remedy, And it's just a sort of a magical powder that can just be mixed with pretty much any liquid and drank, and it should at least somewhat do the trick.
So can you give me a description of how this is done? Of how you
It's just
present
sort
the
of a
powder to me?
silvery powder that you
I know what it look. Okay, don't give me a visual. I want a description of how he gives it to me.
Oh, that's on him.
So, it's basically in a elongated sheet of paper, kind of like with the goodies powder stuff, that I've already kind of put and prepped and everything, and folded it up, and it basically looks like almost like a long piece of gum, if that makes sense, the way that's wrapped. A nod. If you want this, just mix it into a drink, or you take it straight and wash it down. But either way, this should help with the headache.
Oh, okay. I'll take it straight. I'm gonna pour it out as a line and proceed to snort it.
That will also probably work. I've never tried it that way, but you know what?
That would burn my hell, but alright.
It's good to have a guinea pig. You let me know how that works out for you.
This is exactly what I've been needing.
I gotta admit, I like your style.
Yes.
So describe this to me. Are you just using the paper that he gave it to you in to snort it with?
No, I just poured it out like kind of on my folded in the top of my hand, folded in thumb. Just went in on it.
Oh, and it's not just a headache. The headache is gone. It's a the headache is gone.
Yes.
I would like to say something before we visit my family. Anyone who wishes to stay, by all means, stay. If you go, how do I put this? My mother is not like me.
She's a woman?
Yes, but she's a very authoritative person, and he does not really ask a whole lot of questions. She doesn't like the small talk. Very demanding. So, and she is part of the city guard, so be very respectful while we were in the city, please.
She have an issue with Fold?
No.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
maybe the primals, yes, definitely, but... And criminals, I mean, it is her job to stop criminals. But...
She doesn't
yes.
loosely throw around the term thug, does she?
No, more or less rapscallions and vagabonds and delinquents and up to no good doers.
Ah,
Does she
interesting.
also think that devils are the same as demons?
Probably. She has no discern between the two.
That's actually pretty racist. I'm just throwing that out there.
Is it? Huh. My father will be able to tell us more of it. We'll ask him. He's more of a philosopher type.
I might actually get along with your father.
Yes. Me and my father, we are a lot alike. Almost spitting images. I think if you like me, you'll love him.
Maybe I'll talk to your mother.
Well, this way, if you see someone that looks like me, just don't even talk to them. If you see someone that looks like me,
Just your father looks like you.
No, not my father. I said I'm a spitting image. I almost looks like him, but if you see someone that looks identical to me, then he's just a random person in
What
the
about
town.
the mailman? Does the mailman look like you?
No.
Oh. Well, if your father doesn't, I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying, if you see someone that looks exactly like me walking around the street, maybe with some armor, some magical fancy sword or something like that, then just ignore him. He's nobody, really. And I just start walking off.
At about this moment, in the direction you walk off, you round a corner, and then suddenly you see, you talking to another pallid elven female. You see, I got this sword in an arm wrestling match from a samurai from Ebonmass. It's quite a good sword. And I must admit, I definitely know my way around a blade.
Sounds.
And she just looks at him and says, "That is very, very impressive, Bren. Wow."
Wait, do I hear this?
Sure.
Yes.
A misty step
I'm gonna
immediately.
I'm gonna kind of scream out. You know your way around a blade, huh?
Know my way around a blade. Yes, you could say, and he does air quotes with this, I know my way around a blade. Of course I know my way around a blade.
Then would you want to spar?
Well, you see, I am on duty at the moment. I am currently above such things.
Of course, you're so above things that you can't even spar with someone that's probably measly you could win. I mean, I could have fashioned 25 gold that you would lose, but you're on duty, so I guess it won't be fair.
Look, you see, as a pallid elf, it's not really our place in the world to make others feel worse about themselves. As respect to you, I must
of course, so respect to me. Oh, it would be disrespectful for you to decline my offer.
I want to walk up and put my hand on his shoulder and be like, "Hey, it's obviously scared. Don't intimidate."
Nothing scares me, but it is forbidden. It is forbidden by our law. No foolhardy combat in the middle of the city. I just can't.
It would not be combat.
What if they insulted
It'd be a spar. It would be a spar. We can use wooden weapons.
Should insult his god.
I'm sorry. It's just it is forbidden by our laws. I must
I
guess
the scared god of Polar will just have to suffice with you just being a chicken shit.
Ooh.
Whoa, that's enough of that. No making fun of the gods here in this city.
Brother, how are you? He runs over you and basically circle grabs your head with his arm and starts knuckling you across the head way too hard to the point that it hurts.
Get off of me,
you
ruffian!
Your brother's here to save you. You scared little chicken shit.
I am not a chicken shit.
Now, spar with me.
Raven, you cannot draw your weapons in the city streets.
It's
against the law.
Practice swords.
You would have to go outside of the city for that.
And we would have to cut down trees to make these swords. We don't do that as pallid elves.
Well, then I don't mind stepping outside the city.
Brother, I'm sorry. They do not know the ways. It
is quite all right. I guess I shouldn't expect anything different from someone from the other world to not be acquainted with our customs. Now, brother, how are you? How are you?
I am well.
He goes and he gives
brother.
you a couple light punches to the chest. Again,
Ow.
A little too hard.
Stop it. Going to leave a bruise.
You could use a few bruises here. When was the last time you actually picked up a rake? When was the last time you actually harvested food?
You
always were quite the nerd, weren't you, brother, as he starts knuckling your head again?
I'm not a nerd. It was 30 years ago when I last raked a field. Maybe 40.
Well, brother, it's good to have you back. I'm sure Mother would love to see you, and I guess Father too.
Yes, we are going to go see Father. Goodbye, brother.
Oh, farewell, brother. You see, it's rather a good time. I was in the middle of a conversation. You see, I won this sword from an arm wrest, and by this point, he's...
I thought it was a boxing match last time you told me.
Is that what I said? It was a boxing match. Yes, it was a boxing match.
Yes, and the time before that, it was a wrestling match, was it not?
No, I think it was the boxing match. Yes, it was a boxing match, and I won this sword.
Mm-hmm.
skilled martial artist, straight out of, and by this point he has already forgotten that you were there.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep, just motion for everybody to keep going. Now, I did overhear everything you all said. Please, do not speak that way in front of my father. Please.
What did we say? We didn't say anything.
You were trash-talking the gods. This is the gods' personal city. They built the city on this world themselves.
Well, where are they?
What do you mean? They're everywhere. Look at the trees. Feel the magic. Their magic is what gives you a headache. Just a fraction of their power gives you a headache. And they're not even thinking about it. It's an aftermath, an afterthought of their power that gives you a headache and keeps the primals away. And you mock their generosity.
Yes, this is a very generous headache they've been giving me.
I just
That
storm
was
off.
like sparring. Your brother was too much of a chicken shit to spar with me.
Raven, I do not doubt your martial prowess, but my brother is very capable with a weapon, and he would definitely give you a run for your money. You should probably ask him another day when he's not on duty, because both him and Mother take their jobs very serious, I guess.
Well, let's see this mother of yours. It's the only one that seems to have any backbone around here.
Oh. I feel like someone's going to go to jail tonight.
You mean
Yeah.
a good time is going to be had? I'm liking this town already.
I will show them to my house. My
Okay.
parents' house.
You do, and when you open the door, the first person to greet you is your father, as he looks at you and he says, "Neston! It has been far too long. How are you?" As he runs towards you and basically glomps you, like jumping hug.
I do the exact same motions. We both jump at each other.
And you hug way too hard with the double glomp. Anyway, he says, "Oh, Neston, you have grown quite strong in your time away. You were looking rather spry and healthy."
Yes, Father, I would like you and Mother to meet my fellow band of adventurers that I have joined up with.
She walks over and she puts a hand on your shoulder and spins you around and says, "Your friends aren't going to be disrespecting any of our laws, are they?"
I do
Look,
hope
a lot
not.
of you, we have a way that we do things. You respect the nature that we live within. You do not disturb the landscape. You do not disrespect our gods.
Oops.
Am I making myself clear? You see her,
Yes.
and she is similar to... She has her hair tied in a bun. She's wearing what looks to be some ironwood armor, and she's carrying a similar greatsword, likely also made of ironwood.
Raven's just like picking her teeth with her claws.
Now, I suppose,
Yes.
since you are here, you
Uh-huh.
may, of course, make yourself welcome. We are generous, lest nobody suggests anything otherwise. But,
Yep.
we respect
I want to
our society
walk
while you are
over.
here.
I want to walk over to his dad and just lightly introduce myself. Thank him for welcoming me to his home. I want to lean in and whisper in his ear. I hope you don't mind this life choice that your son has made. I don't know how you all respond to this type of thing in your culture. Usually, life partnerships with the same gender are a bit weird, but I hope that you're okay with it.
He raises an eyebrow. Neston, come here.
No, I'm gonna go over there, but yeah, I heard it too.
Yes, Father.
Did you go and get married without telling us?
Not that I know of, but when I was in Stormhaven, Father, they have odd traditions. The dwarves are, there's very stubborn and rude. But as far as to my knowledge, and I swear under the word of Pelor and the guidance and faithful love of Selune that I have not willingly given myself to anyone.
Oh,
Every time Neston speaks
You
of a
have
god, I'm going to scoff.
You know, we had the. No, I'm not sure if you remember. It might have not been considered willing, but you were a bit under the influence, so you might not remember the full
I
extent.
think not. I have never been under the influence. Thank you.
What was our cousin speaking about, Neston? What were you speaking? By the way, what is your name?
This is Anon, Father.
My name is Galorian. It is a pleasure. I know you are already acquainted with my son, who I've had the
very much
distinct
so.
pleasure of raising. As you hear his mother say, as the chicken shit that he is, she mutters under her breath.
I'm going to.
I ignore her.
I'm
Roll
going
my
to
eyes.
go to his mother and go, yes, he is a chicken shit. He's quite a chicken shit.
Why?
He's scared of everything. I mean, let me tell you this.
That's a good heart, though.
We were in a battle, and he ran away and
Oh.
hid under a table.
Ooh.
Let me tell you this, Mother. They watched their friend get their throat slit open, and they ran away from her.
No, we
And-
finished
A
the
lot
battle.
of you are all cowards.
Yes, Mother. We are
No,
all
no, no,
cowards.
No, see. I went and took my lovely Flora here, and I went and avenged her because I was going to slit the throat of the man that stabbed her in the neck.
He went to go avenge someone that was bleeding out and dying and not fully dead yet.
Do not
Mother.
ever turn your back on an ally in combat. Surely, even the lowliest of warriors understands this.
I can't do anything to help her.
Well,
I have
mean,
no
you could
ways
have.
of
You could have
healing
stopped
her.
bleeding. You could have applied bandages.
Are you
First
meaning
aid.
to tell me that you are an adventurer and you don't have even basic knowledge of medical support?
She is my medical support.
It
Speaking
would.
of,
Oh,
I accidentally unplugged my head. Sorry, guys.
This is Flora here, Mother. She is a shifter.
She just literally simply looks at Flora and says, "Hi."
I just wave back, hello! And my ears just kind of like twitch because I'm still in a lot of pain.
So she walks up to you, Neston, and says, "So if I overheard correctly, you have not yet married. You do understand that we are a species who is in need of numbers. Why have you not yet fathered a child?"
I mean, but Mother, technically I am married to the Trinity Church.
Yes,
I
that
mean,
does not make
it's-
more of
I'm-
us.
But I mean, Mother, I'm a doctor,
5,000,
and
Neston. That is all there are of us. Why have you not yet fathered a child?
why are you getting so distraught with me? My brother has not married or fathered a child, and he is the older of those two. He is the oldest. I'm waiting on him to go first.
Oh, is that what you feel like you must do? No, you must take it upon yourself. She looks at you.
When
She looks at Raven and says, "You appear to be an elf. Why have you not tried to procreate with her?"
Ooh.
I don't swing that way.
I mean, Father, please inform Mother of Pelor's wisdom, and he will guide the shining light when the time is ready. Right?
Sorry,
and
that
honestly,
I cannot do. It is time for you to have a child, Neston.
This
We
is-
are a.
This is a terrible miscalculation.
Neston's mother, I just want to let you know that I am sorry, but I will never, in a million years, bear a child of someone so chicken shit. Ever.
Indeed, Neston, you must be less of a chicken shit for any woman
You know
to
what?
possibly be willing to mate with you.
I feel personally attacked right now, Mother. I'm going to my room, and then I take off
Go
running.
to your room like the coward that you are.
I slam the door.
Do we hear him crying in the background?
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is fucking great.
It is.
This is fucking wonderful.
I just kind of like bounce up and go, "Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna step outside for a second." And then once I get outside, I pull out my medicine.
Okay.
So, Gavin, has my brother completely torn up? Like, do we share a room?
We've got adjacent rooms.
So, okay, because I actually have something that I want. I want to leave a package in his room.
Oh, you can. I mean, your rooms
Yeah,
are.
no, I'll do
connected,
that
so-
later. But yeah, for the rest of the night and until someone comes and gets him, if someone comes and gets him, he's staying in his room.
Okay.
He's
So-
very distraught right now, very upset.
And
I do
as just
say you-
to add emphasis, she looks at you one more time, Raven, and says, "Quite the chicken shit. Quite the chicken shit."
Yes, and I apologize. I do not follow your gods, but I will respect them while I'm here.
That's all I
But I
ask.
did have an encounter with your other son, trying to get him to spar with me because he claimed to be the greatest swordsman of all times, trying to talk up this chick, and I just walked up and was like, well, if you want to have a hand at being the greatest swordsman, have a hand at me. And he sounded like he was a chicken shit too.
So he did not agree?
He did not agree.
Good. That is our laws. He is on duty for the next 24 hours. He is forbidden from entering combat with anybody unless necessary.
Understandable. And like I said, I do not know your laws. I've only been to Colossus every now and then. I try to avoid it as much as possible. Due
Understandable.
to my mother would flip her shit if if she knew I was here right now. She'd flip out.
Oh,
Good
why is
thing
that?
she is-
Molly
Oh,
is
she's
curled
from
up
the-
in the fetal position like a cat and fell asleep on the floor.
She is from the Underdark in Alarath.
I've heard of this Underdark.
So after losing my brother, she tends to try to shelter me as much as possible. As I am the only one of my kind.
I see. Well, do, I suppose, make yourself welcome as long as you respect our customs.
Of course,
And,
you have a lovely place.
Try to get through to that son of mine.
Hopefully with him adventuring with us, over time he will grow to be more of a great warrior than what he is now.
And she says this loud enough that you'd be able to hear it through the door, Neston. I'd expect him to carry himself with a degree of pride that shines brightly upon our race.
I cast sending to my father,
Okay.
and I say, pride leads to temptation and sin. This will not do, for the light of Pelor guides all of us through wisdom and strength.
And he responds and says, though that light unfortunately shines less bright in your mother.
Okay, I pretty much am done. Like, I'm good to fast forward the morning.
Okay. So, you settle in for the night. There's some decent accommodations. Sofas, beds, all that seem to be naturally crafted out of the environment, but comfortable enough nonetheless. Granted, for the lot of you, it's a bit, other than Neston, of course, it's a bit of a departure, not being able to take a shower or, the fact that you can't flip a light switch. But it is what it is.
I'm used to lit and not showering for months on end.
Well, true.
I live on a pirate on a ship. Me and Bond don't wash. What are you talking about?
You could dip in the ocean.
Hey, Gavin, so the light sources around this town are like little light crystals, like crystals infused
Yeah.
with the light cantrip, and they're
That
not actual
and-
flame, right?
Not actual flames, and it's also just because of the presence of such a high degree of elven high magic in this city. These sort of little wisp-like particles just kind of form naturally. and obviously become far more visible at night.
So, at some point during the night, I will actually use my darkness steps of the night to float off of the ground and float over to my brother's room silently, and I will leave a box on top of his bed
Okay.
with a note on top of it.
All right. So anybody else got anything, or you just want it to be morning time?
I'm good for morning time.
He
Okay.
wants to
Okay.
go into reverie. And
How old is Anand, by the way?
I think we said he was like, how old are they live to be 500, right?
350. Exactly half the lifespan of an elf.
Okay, so I want to say I think he's 95.
Okay. So something that is rather distressing to you, Anand, and this happens with pretty much all Elvenkin at some point. You're at an age where when you enter the reverie, up until you're about roughly 100 years old, give or take a few years, when you enter the reverie, you see glimpses of Arvandor, which is basically the elven heaven. For you, it's been getting more scarce and more scarce. Now, for an entire 4-hour period of your revelry, you'll maybe get 10 minutes of there that actually gives you visions of Orvandor. And visions of Orvandor to an elf is pure ecstasy, pure joy, pure excitement, pure happiness. There's an unbridled amount of happiness that you feel when you see these visions, that they've just been becoming more scarce. And you know that happens within the lifespan of any elvenkin creature that can enter the revelry. But you're having to come to terms with the fact that in a few years, you won't see Arvandor anymore. And kind of the same thing goes for you too, Raven.
Yeah, I figured because I'm 98, so I'm
Yeah. So that's whenever an elf stops having visions of Arvandor, it's always a very sad time for them.
So would you say, as you said a few years, would you say that I'm already in that state of my
You're probably a year or two away from losing your connection to Arvandor.
Gotcha.
And Anand, you would imagine you're probably pretty close to that too.
Yeah, I have a question. Because
Okay.
in the reverie, aside from that, you also revisit your past lives. That you've been reincarnated many times.
Right.
I am a first generation awakened Vold. But what do I see of my past lives?
Yeah, same for me. I'm the first generation of what I am too.
Let's
That'd be
see.
interesting.
So, Raven, do you have any Drow heritage? I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
No, there's no Drow heritage.
Okay. So, because Drow don't see anything, they just see darkness when they enter the reverie. So
Yeah, I have no Drow heritage.
So
But
what
go with
you
Anand
see,
first.
Anand, is you see images of a thriving elvish society, of not any place that you recognize or you're at least familiar with now, with elven high magic absolutely at its peak. These massive, Yggdrasil scale trees built, currents of visible mana just flowing through the air, a very joyous, progressive society with magical machines fulfilling a lot of the same purposes that regular machines do in modern times. You would know that while not guaranteed, it is a good likelihood that the majority of Vold souls once belonged to the elves of old of Wel'Kalas, who are historically believed to be sort of a missing link between the Eladrin and the High Elves. They sort of exhibit characteristics of both subraces. And in fact, it was the elves of old who, way back historically 192 years ago, were the ones that were transformed into the first primals. So typically visions like that are what you see. as well as, of course, visions of your own life of years past, as well as the occasional glimpse of our Vandor that is ever fading. And I just went into a ton of Forgotten Realms lore just then.
Like it.
But it was great, man. Like, that was a great description.
So, as far as you, Raven, primarily what you see, seeing as how your Elvish heritage is largely originating in Falthansia, is you see images of various pink-haired kings, as that's sort of the characteristic hair color of the high lineage of the Vinyaris family of Falthansia. You see images that might be Nifrion. It's hard to tell because it is historic images from hundreds of years past. But of just an overall tyrannical society, not one that resembles Falthansia today, where there's a multitude of guards, much more glim environment. As you know, historically, Falthansia hasn't always been what it is, and it's pretty much what it is now because they have a dictator who actually isn't tyrannical, unlike dictators past. A far cry from the Falthansia of today.
Right.
But of course, you also see moments of your past life. You see your grandfather a lot. I mean, a lot when you go into the Reverie. Memories that you made with him. As well as still the occasional fleeting image of this beautiful, lush heaven full of elves with a general celestial appearance.
So, I will say Raven, when that kind of image comes around, she doesn't know how to feel because of her heritage and the fact that she is part dragon. She doesn't know if she'll even be welcome in that when she dies.
And that is one of the biggest unknowns of Elven society, of what happens to the soul of an elf who is of mixed blood. Nobody really has an answer to that question.
Yeah, so she just kind of... That's an image that would... She doesn't get uneasy by much, but if someone was looking at her while she tranced, you could tell the uneasiness about her.
Yeah, and it's not
Like,
that you feel
her
like you
scales
won't go
turn
there.
very, like, pale. She is very emotional when it comes to that.
Right, and it's not that you feel that you won't go there. It's just, it's tenuous. You're not sure whether you will or not, because nobody really has an answer to that question for what happens to the soul of an elf of mixed blood. It's just, nobody has the answer to that.
Right. I mean, she's even surprised that she actually has a reverie because she's heard of elves with mixed blood not having them.
Yeah.
And my other character, in my other campaign, I'm Eladrin, but I have the dragon blood. When I go into my reverie, sometimes remember the dragon life, and the character actually died. And when he died, he came to a crossroads, and he had to pick, and he chose to go on to the dragon side.
Oh.
It's actually pretty cool.
That is cool. So, all right, let's because I want you guys to get back to Callum Lux tonight. That's what I'm aiming for, because that will segue into the next session. So, you rise the next morning, and to the a delicious smell. Upon rising and entering downstairs, you find a pot of stew as well as some roast rabbit that seems to have been caught and prepared for you.
Yay. Food.
She says to you when you enter, Neston here only eats fish, but for those of us who eat actual meat, we laid some traps and caught some rabbits yesterday, for those of you who are hungry.
Did they stay at the inn or at the house?
I assumed they stayed at your house.
Yeah, we were welcome at the house. We just crashed the house.
Y'all are welcome in every house in the city.
Yeah, literally any house.
So Raven's gonna go, yes, I actually... Fish gets tiring after you've been on the sea for several weeks and
I
months.
can imagine. Grab a leg.
Thank you, because pussies only eat fish. Only pussies eat fish. constantly. Right, Neston?
I mean,
As
cat.
she's
eat
gonna
us.
smirk and take a big bite out of the freaking rabbit leg.
Poor Neston.
I was thinking it too, Marte. I was thinking it too.
Okay.
So she ladles some stew into a bowl. It's not much, but I hope you enjoy.
It is wonderful, thank you.
Now, Neston, our neighbor Liaris is actually, she just had her 100th birthday, and is looking for a suitable mate. Just putting that out there.
Neston looks very somber. Like this morning, he looks very upset. Oh, well, that's fantastic, Mother.
Relax, Neston. We got you some fish. We caught some trout in the river. It is prepared.
His eyes are like welling up, and then he just shakes his head and looks to his mother and father, and then he looks over to Anon and
Raven?
what's your character's name? Raven.
Yeah.
And then he looks back down at his bowl, and he just mumbles, "I no longer see the reverie."
Oh, you. Oh yeah.
Oh.
God,
At
how
this point,
old he is.
your mom's tone changes, which is almost startling to you. She actually gives you a compassionate look. Nest, I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I go hug
Nonsense.
Neston. I literally genuinely give him the biggest hug possible. Like my tail unwraps around my waist and wraps around him to give him a hug.
Oh, yikes! Evasion.
I will be fine. Father said this time would come.
But it's hard. Just accept the hug.
I too have been losing my sight.
As have I.
Oh, well, we must get heading on the road. Mother, I have a gift for you. I know I'm not your favorite, but and I will pull out the painting that I bought from the vendor. Here you go.
It's quite a beautiful piece of art, Neston. Neston, I'm so very sorry.
Oh, it will be fine. I only have 600 more years until I
Good to see it.
Yeah, you know, what is another 600 years for us elves?
Neston, we will all make it back to our Vandor eventually. All of us will.
I'm sure we will. Father, I left something in Brother's room. I would ask him to see the jar. Ask to see the jar whenever you get a chance. It might be something. Lucas here actually helped me with it. It is an ointment that cures wounds, diseases, and poisons. You might be able to. I also left a detailed. You might want to go up there and grab it before Brother gets home. He'll just throw it away. But it's a detailed document on how it was made, and maybe you can refabricate it.
Of course. And he grabs one of your hands with both of his, and Neston, I know the pain. I had my last vision of Orvandor, about 90 years ago, and I remember the heartbreak.
It's sadly, this was the first night I have no longer seen Evandor. I worry for my brother. He is weak-minded. He is brawny, but his mind will be shattered. Just watch after him.
I will, Nest, and may Coralon's everlasting grace stay with you, guide you, comfort you. We are of the blood of Lorethian.
I will send you another message on Sunday, as every Sunday, as I always do.
Of course, son.
Oh, I meant to tell you, Father. At the church, if you could do us a favor, even though we did not stay at the house of Avon, he was most gracious. He even moved arm and leg. I think he actually set up a bed for Molly's size. Very generous person he was.
Oh, Avon. He is a model member of our race.
We must be going, everyone.
Of course, you have... looks to be about 10 hours of daylight left. You should have plenty of time to make the trip.
We shall.
As genuinely caring, which again is odd for you, your mother puts a hand on your back as she then takes a couple steps back and watches you leave. All right. So, you find your car over at Avarn's house. It has been hitched with a new trailer, and Avarn is waiting for you outside. As I believe was promised in your contract, 500 gold pieces to each of you. We've had this stored away for just this type of circumstance. And a mana crystal to each of you as well. As he grabs a large wooden chest. 3,500 gold pieces. You'll find it's all there. I took the time yesterday to count each piece myself. And 7 mana crystals.
Anon, you do not have a bag of holding, do you?
I do.
Okay. I hand over my mana crystal to Anon.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Anand, at this point in time, I've been doing the math for what you started with and how much you've gotten, including what you got yesterday. You currently have 4. Just enough for about, 4 days worth.
How do we charge a mana crystal? Would I, as a pallet elf, know how to charge a mana crystal?
You don't really charge them. They just form naturally on land that is touched by ley lines. Where the weave is strongest is where you will find mana crystals.
Well, did you account for the fact that I finished off the bad guy by draining him?
Yes, I accounted for that, so you didn't need to take one that day. If you hadn't done that, you'd have 3 left.
Okay, true. Okay.
I would suggest, since none of you need mana crystals, to...
Look, they're used in alchemy. You would know that.
Yeah. Since none of you need it as substance, we should all give our mana crystals to Anon, provided Lucas if you need any. I'm sure Anon will be more than willing to separate it from them, unless he is petrified. Then he will be.
Yeah, I guess I don't have any recipes that I need it for now, so of course, and I'll turn over my mana crystal to Anon too.
Okay, so you've got 11 days. Since everybody gave you their 7, you've got 11 days. So 11 mana crystals total. Again, as I always say, add it to your inventory or you don't have it.
And with the gold, do we want to put it in the group loot or do we want to disperse it?
I'll take mine.
It's 3,500, 500 per person, distribute however you want to. Just make sure the math all adds up.
So
Again,
I'll hand
you guys in that front.
I'll hand 500 gold to Neston. Anybody else want their share?
I would actually like my share, please.
Yeah, if we
I'll
have
take 500 gold.
Oh, I think we should just have everybody just take their share, and then if we need to divide it up or anything that gets complicated like last time, we can put it in the group bag. But for the time being, let's just let everybody hold on to their own.
Do like my
Okay.
All right, so everybody add 500 gold pieces to your inventory.
Hey.
You don't add it in the actual items. Just for those of you who are still fairly new to Fantasy Grounds, there's a currency section that should be titled Treasure underneath your item. Yes.
I can now afford a staff of power.
Doubtful. All right.
I just
So,
realized how Kit was.
What do you mean?
She has 1,000 gold pieces stacked.
Flora's got a.
Yeah.
Wow.
She has the 500 from the beginning. She hasn't spent a damn dime. And then the 500 that we just got.
I have. Well, I would have had almost. Would have had 1,000 had I not given that 100 away.
I mean, I have 800, but
Yeah,
still.
I have 847.
So, Avarn looks at the lot of you, and he also grasps Neston's hand. Go with grace. The Trinity will always watch over you, even the lot of you. The gods do not demand worship to support those who live on this planet. Just know that. Even if you do not follow them, they follow you. As he gives the rest of you a courteous bow and turns around and steps into his home.
Very nice.
So, just to describe this trailer, it's basically just crates upon crates upon crates of stacked goods. You can see through the occasional crack in a box that there's like carrots, cabbages, some salted fish, various food and supplies, as well as there's several crates that are just full of a multitude of water skins. And there is one crate on this trailer that is just packed to the brim of these little marble-sized mana crystals.
Ooh. I'm gonna pat Nested on the back and say, thanks for the crystal. Hard feelings. Just wanted to give you a hard time at your parents' house. I'm grateful for you all allowing me to stay.
It was Neston.
I know. I was saying that, of course, like I was saying that I was messing with Neston too.
Oh.
So, for the people that I've heard the least from, what are Flora and Molly's thoughts on all of this stuff? Your thoughts, what you're doing, whatever you want to add. I just want to make sure you guys are included. That's all.
I appreciate it.
Well, Molly being simple-minded for the most part. Yeah, she fell asleep on someone's floor at some point anyway. Because of all the banter. She's pretty open-minded. She doesn't mind anything. Like, none of this is a qualm for her.
Yeah. And I imagine she can kind of relate to the way these people kind of live.
Oh yeah, she feels comfortable most definitely here because it reminds her of home. So that's how she fell asleep on the floor in a complete stranger's house.
Yeah. So, and Flora, I'm removing all your wounds, by the way, since you had a long rest.
So, on the ride back, Neston will inform the non-elves of what the revelry is and what they were speaking about that morning. Like what our Vandor is. Basically, to Molly, it goes like, when elves are children, they see heaven every time they sleep, and then we no longer see it. He just explains the whole process of trancing and the revelry and stuff like that to them in the car.
Yeah.
Alright.
So that way they're caught up to date.
Cool.
And if anybody ever has any overall lore questions about that kind of thing, just ask me. I can answer your question. So. But all right. So, all in all, the trip back to Callum Lux is much less eventful this time. You don't actually even see any primal vold. You do hear the occasional scream that might let you know that one's within a few miles of you, but that's commonplace, especially in this particular region of Wel'Kalas.
Hey, Gab.
What's
Just
up?
two things on the trip I'd like to do. One, I'll
Okay.
tune to my die, and two, I'll ritual cast Identify on this new wand I got to see if there's anything about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
So what you get from Identify is that this wand is made with a particular kind of magic. That's sort of a mixture of like epic level spells and elven high magic. Not in a degree that would cause it to be something like catastrophically powerful, but there is a way that pretty much only the witches are able of casting magic. Of magic that will grow, that will gain intensity, that will blossom, it will spring and create new magic from its source. You imagine this wand as it is now is not everything that it is going to be, and just from what you're able to tell with this Identify is at a minusculely slow rate, at an abysmally slow rate. This magic is growing in power, though it's going to take some time, just like any plant, to truly grow to its full potential. But as of now, it's just a standard wand.
Well, Sam, I'll try and give it a go. You'll see me roll up my right sleeve, and there's like an entire contraption strapped around my wrist where you can see like it holds my wand in place whenever I'm not actually holding it in my hand. And I will detach that and put it in my bag, and I will attach the ivory wand and put it in its place and put my sleeve back down.
And a different thing about this wand too is that it has a somewhat sort of metallic texture to it. Like it actually is slightly cold to the touch, as any metal would be, as opposed to your old wand, which is just enchanted wood.
What's it taste like?
What?
Cotton candy.
Really?
And candied bacon.
Oh my god, it is antithesis.
No, it tastes like metal. It tastes like if you put a penny in your mouth.
Yeah, like a dirty doorknob.
Yeah. Well, you have to try these things, or otherwise you won't
You
know.
said it's made out of ivory, right?
Ivory-like substance, not exactly ivory.
Okay.
Am I just like side-eye watching him slobber all over this wand?
Blah.
He's just... What?
I mean, I didn't slobber all over it, but, you know, I kind of slobbered all over it.
Yikes.
I mean, it doesn't sound like he was, like, testing his gag reflex with this wand or anything.
Like, whoa. That's a good 9-inch wand.
Alright, calm down over there, Harmony.
So, you finish the trek back to Mesterim, and entering the town, you do so at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, still with plenty of time, plenty of hours of daylight left. And immediately you are met with just jovial celebration as the inhabitants of the town see these supplies, and you have to sort of clear the way just to get through with the excitement, as there's many of these people just look like they're starving, both from magic and from actual food, though you know your job was to deliver it to the tavern so it can actually, to the guild hall, so it can actually be distributed in an organized fashion. So with some difficulty you do that. And witness as you arrive and as the goods are distributed, many people walking up, grabbing a mana crystal, and they actually go for the mana crystal first, before even the food. As they pierce the crystal, it shatters to pieces on the ground, drained of color. And the town, as dismal as it is, just in this moment, seems a lot more lively than you previously remember it. So Renard walks up to the rest of you. Thank you so much. I do hope that your trek was uneventful. These people really appreciate this. This means a lot. You've helped a lot of people this day. Now, have you given any thought to that name, perhaps? Or do you still want to just put a pin on that?
Why not the rapscallions?
How about those that can no longer see our Vandor?
Oh, so you mean
our
lost vision?
Vandorless.
We could call ourselves Lost Vision or Sightless.
I like sightless.
I like Sightless as well.
The sightless.
Yes.
How about gloom and despair?
I really do like Sightless though. Like that, I think that's pretty cool. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I like the sightless. Calling ourselves the sightless.
Sightless. That's pretty
Keeping in
cool.
mind, to change
Oh.
a registry name, it must be unanimous.
What about edge lords? The lords of edge. We could be the lords of edge.
I still want to stick with the Sightless, but Edge.
What about sightless lords of edge?
It's too long.
What about
Okay,
sightless?
I am good.
Sightless edge.
No, it's
I am good with the sightless.
Lords of Edge,
Like
and then you
the
abbreviate
sightless.
it, so now we're just slow.
That's great.
Alright, I'm good with the sightless.
I like
Yeah.
the
With
Sightless.
slow.
They're going
The
slow.
decision must be unanimous.
Sightless is
Uh,
fine with me.
I mean, every time I hear sightless,
I'm
I'm
good with
hearing
the sightless.
cyclists. Like, do we have bikes?
We have one.
Sightless.
Yes,
we have a
Sight-
bite.
Sightless is great.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for sightless.
Rapscallions just. I think
Yeah, hold up,
tiny
hold up.
onions.
How about the team that has no name?
But if you don't get out of here,
Shut up, Nick. Just say yes for the sightless.
No, you must not pressure your teammates. It must
No,
be
I'm
an
good with the.
enthusiastic, unanimous decision.
Okay, I'm good with the sightless.
I'm good with the sightless.
yes.
I'm good with the
I'm good with the
sightless.
sightless.
What? The sightless it is. Ironically speaking, I will be keeping a close eye on the sightless in your adventures.
Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Did you have to go there, Gavin?
You knew he was going to.
Very well. You shall
I'm
now
not
be
sure
dubbed
about.
the sightless.
May not have sight, but I do have vision.
Doesn't make
That
any
could be a
sense.
catchphrase. I will put in the request to headquarters. It will be done by the end of the day.
We should have named ourselves Sightless 69. That would have been
I
great.
hear somebody chime in. Is it too late for another name change?
The 69. What the fuck, guys?
Are you proud? Are
the
you
images that I
proud?
get from that name, I do not want to describe.
I think we're all getting them.
That's
I
great.
hate you
Why
all.
not just call yourself the Blind Orgy?
Yeah.
Thing is, honestly, Marte, Gavin's like, yeah, Marte's Christian, he's not gonna cuss, he's not gonna do anything in this, but I think you have the dirtiest mind out of all of us.
I know there is a degree of perversion to Marte that would mesh very well.
Because I was expecting like this holy, like he's not gonna have any comments or anything like that.
I'm sorry
No,
for
no,
letting
that is-
you down.
That is not what you
I'm
guys
so sorry.
expected. He
I love it,
literally
Marte.
is an admin of a group on Facebook that is pretty much like half hentai.
I hate you so much.
Outed.
I want to join this.
Please.
Please, can you send me the link?
What about me?
Yeah, send me and Kit the link for this hentai.
It's not literally hentai, but I mean it skirts the edge.
You're very edgy.
Okay,
It's
you know
at
what?
High School of the Dead.
I'm okay with
There's
edgy.
plenty of that.
Oh, there's plenty of High School today.
Edgy. It's edgy. It's what it is.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Just send me the link.
Okay.
All right, moving on. So he looks at the group and he says, "So something quite peculiar has happened. In fact, the first in this guild hall's history. The lot of you have been requested by name to take a reserved contract in the city of Glimwood Rest in Falthansia. Why it is that a guildmaster would be requesting you personally, I have no idea. And do you know anybody particular? In fact, have you ever met the guildmaster of Glimwood Rest?
No, but I am very familiar with Falthansia.
Indeed. It's just,
Okay.
this thing is rare, even among higher ranked adventurers. The only people that typically get reserved requests are people like the Heralds of Requiem or New Solidarity. And yet, you, for only your third ever contract, have been requested specifically.
What's the
Actually-
name of this guildmaster?
Yes.
His name is Kal Al-Jazim. He's a near miser, but he was once a fire ganassi, if I do believe.
Maybe. But no, he couldn't have gotten that far that quickly. We did meet a man on the streets, and I did talk with him for a while. But, he said he was on his way to Falfanzia and he would remember my name, but he couldn't have gotten that far that fast. We've only spent one night.
Possible. I don't know the details. I'm just the messenger in this. There's a second contract that you could take. Apparently, the halflings of Trifliticusville Town, Havenford, something or whatever, have been having another run-in with goblins. There's that if you wish to fulfill it on the way, or you can just head straight to Glimwood Rest. It's about, should be a 9 or so days journey from here by ship.
Where
Give
would
or
we
take
turn?
a day or two.
Would we turn in both of them when we get to Falfanzia, or?
You can turn in a quest, usually at any guild hall. It's up to you whether you want to take the quest in Trifliticus something or other, whatever shire.
Guildmaster, I thought Trifliticusville was destroyed.
How it has not been is beyond my understanding, but no, it is still very much
I'm
there.
pretty sure when I studied with the dwarves and under a tutelage, they told me that there was an apocalyptic event, and that's why no one ever went there. They said that everyone was murdered and destroyed.
You're thinking of Glimbalar.
No, I'm pretty sure they said it was Trifliticusville,
This is on the
Havenfordshire.
continent of Alarath.
Yes, when I was in Stormhaven, my mentor, Karzar, told me that Trifliticusville, Havenfordshire, was destroyed.
Well, didn't
He
someone
said
use
it was
wish to restore it?
He said it was a mass thing. I mean, Karzar doesn't lie. He's an honorable dwarf.
He laughs and says, I know
He's
little
short-sighted.
about this Order of Shield and Light, but I can definitely assure you Trifliticusville Town, Havenfordshire, I think that's the name, I believe. It is very much still there.
I asked Karzar one time, we were doing some traveling healing, and I said, hey, why don't we go to the home of the gnomes? And he said...
Oh, halflings.
Yeah, halflings. And he said, no, they were all murdered, and we were not allowed to go there because it was a desolate wasteland. So we didn't go.
I believe this dwarf may have been fucking with you. Yes, I do believe that was likely the case.
I'm pretty sure. No, he's no, he doesn't do that.
She'll follow
so-
about this.
It is very much still there.
Raven is going to turn her head and kind of laugh because of the stories that she's heard, and kind of like give a chuckle, and then try to straighten herself back up.
So, Guildmaster, have you ever heard of Eobard's Traveling Wares?
I can't say I have, no.
Alright.
Well, I'm good to go to Trifliticusville if y'all want to.
I would prefer not to, and we can just head straight on. I mean, I hear it's like a desolate wasteland, like monsters and ravenous werewolves. What else?
Trifliticusville, to be clear, completely optional. It is a bronze level quest. The rest of you are silver, and you have been specifically requested for a silver level quest. Apparently, Falfanzia is having the vampiric presence in Falfanzia has been on the rise.
Ooh,
so
let's do that.
if I am to understand correctly, you would be cooperating with the Dusk Martyrs in this venture, the group of vampire hunters.
Oh, you know, I have something actually, and then I will. So, In the middle of this room, I take my bag of holding and I turn it upside down, and about 1,000 books pour out.
Okay.
And I start thumbing through the books, throwing them back into the bag.
1,000 books.
Yeah,
Being
hundreds
liberal.
of
Not
books.
quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's an
Not get too
exaggeration.
out of hand, but
But I pull out this one book that is black, and it has the symbol of the Doom Guides on it. And then I start thumbing through the pages real quick, and I flash the book in front of Lucas's face. It's a alchemy reagent.
Oh yes, that thing.
what is it? Vampire blood?
This is from Khazar. He said he helped Dorian Stormbringer slay vampires, and he found a way to turn vampires back normal. He said with the help of Philia, and
I have no idea who these people are.
they're the heroes of the Seven Deadly Sins. Anyways, Khazar helped create a alchemy reagent to turn vampires back human. I was under tutelage of Khazar for 3 years.
Who
I don't.
weren't you under tutelage with? My goodness.
Oh, 112 years, give or take 12 years traveling. Anyways, I think I don't know. I'm going to need help, of course, but I think I might be able to recreate a serum. I would just have to speak to Khazar because I don't have any practical applications.
I'm good with going to Palfanzia. I have some business there anyway.
We can. Oh, Lucas, this
He
could
says
be
you-
a
I
breakthrough
can-
of medical science.
I can most assure you that the Dusk Martyrs mean to slay every single vampire that they come across.
But what if they
Without
didn't need
prejudice.
to? What? They're still humans. They didn't choose to be monsters.
Quick
Some of them did.
question. You said the guild master in Falthanzia. What was his name?
Kal al-Jazim.
Cal?
I'll
Al-Jazim?
jizz on him.
Is he Middle Eastern?
Sorry, what was his first name?
Cal?
Just Cal.
Yes.
Just noticing Callum al-Jazim sounds a lot like Kalim. Very well.
Sounds like.
It's Al hyphen Jazim, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is CALAL-JHAZEEM.
You're gonna write me up an NPC description for this and send me a picture, right?
Yeah.
Sweet, thank you. Because you didn't do one for the current
Shit.
guild master that we're dealing with. I need to put these in my book. Damn it!
I'll get that to you.
Awesome, thank you.
I give Molly my Twilight blessing at the start of this day, since I didn't do it yesterday.
That's me too.
I can only
That
do one
would,
at a time. It gives her advantage on initiative rolls.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So the next time and it stays with her until I use it again. So the next time she
Sure.
rolls for initiative,
Isn't there a way to share your dark vision too? I wasn't sure.
maybe.
Okay. Sorry.
So, are we going to Palfanzia, or are we making the pit stop, or are we just going straight there?
Straight to Faltanzia. I have to get in touch with Khazar. I have to get back to the ship.
Okay,
I have to start
fine.
preparing.
Jen, do you have, by chance, do you have a barrel of coal?
I can spare a barrel of coal. You're running low on fuel?
No, I just want to have one because it is a longer trip than.
Yes,
It's been a
of course.
long time since I've been that way. I would rather have just an extra one just in case.
You'll find it in the back by the furnace.
Awesome. I'll have Jason come pick it up and take it to the ship.
Okay. And he also looks at the rest of you and says, and just because it's a long trip, I'm not sure how you're doing on your food supplies. He walks over to this cart and pulls a crate off of it. This is just a crate of peanuts. It's the least I can do. Should preserve well on the seas.
Yes, it'll do just fine. Thank you.
Quite welcome. And it's been my sincerest pleasure getting to know all of you. I know It has not always been the most pleasant of circumstances, but I understand that my brother had to be stopped, and though I still do not wish to know who dealt the killing blow, I don't have a degree of animosity for anyone.
Anon.
I mean, it was more of a group effort. We kind of pummeled him until
It
he
was
couldn't.
Anon.
Please stop.
And he was like, "No, please stop." And I was like, "Ha." I'm just kidding. I don't say that.
Okay.
But do you?
I want to.
Do you have an empty barrel?
I suppose there will be several after the supplies have been distributed. Why do you ask?
I'm gonna grab an empty barrel and I'm gonna snap my fingers and cast Create Water.
You know that spell?
Yes.
Useful. Okay.
You know Create Water.
I know Create and Destroy Water.
We could have made a shower. All we had to do was poke a hole in something and put it aloft and stand under it.
We can do that on the ship.
Standing in filth for no reason?
I can create 30 gallons of water and 45 pounds of food.
I can make 2 gallons of mayonnaise.
Oh god. Oh.
Nice.
So,
We're gonna need
are you
that
using
tonight.
the jar of alcohol?
I can hold it all.
The jar to make that, or are you making it the old-fashioned way?
I mean,
as he says, we could have taken a shower. I'm gonna cast Create Water again, not with the barrel, and it's just gonna rain in a 30-foot cube around us.
Well, thanks for getting everything wet. Suppose I'll wait for it to dry before I fix the giant hole in the side of our building.
He just made it rain on everyone.
Oh, yes. Actually, I wanted to speak to you about that, Guildmaster. Could we have some extra spare wood planks brought on board the ship, please?
He looks at these scattered pieces of wood on the ground by the opening and says,
Not those. Fresh wood, please. We're remodeling the ship. We don't want it to look like... no offense.
like my wall.
Yes, exactly.
If you
yes.
casted mend on the hole in the wall, would it repair itself?
It repairs like 1 inch at a time.
Yeah, it's kind of... You might as well just try to fix the wall the old-fashioned way at that point.
I fixed the door.
Listen, when we stop in Falfenzia, I will have some repairs made on the ship.
Well, I would like use of that spare room as an infirmatory.
But I'd like an easy
For
access
who?
to the engine room.
Oh, is that a staircase going down?
Well, it's a big hole, so you just jump down.
Why do we need an infirmary?
Oh, you know what? Good question. We just won't have an infirmary. We just won't do first aid. We just won't do medical practices. We'll just die of syphilis and all types of different diseases on the ship.
There are preventative measures for these type of things, like being clean.
I will build it there, but you have to share the room with Lucas.
I have a great idea.
Stuff.
Yes, most
Master.
Definitely.
He walks over behind the bar and brings over a pack of condoms, and he was like, I heard you mention syphilis. I feel as though you kids be safe.
If it's not raw, it's not right.
Don't worry. In my medical first aid bag, I have dozens of condoms. I have them on stock.
Sorry, what were you saying, Brandon?
When he grabs the condoms, I'm just gonna pet Flora's head.
Guildmaster, I have a question. As a nod.
Of course.
Do you by chance have an arcane tent that you'd be willing to sell me?
We do not have anything like that in stock. It will take us some time to replenish our store. No offense to you guys, of course, I don't expect you to work for free, but your rewards for your previous quests, it did a number on our store, so we'll manage. We'll restock, but for the time being, our supplies will be rather dismal as far as our shop is concerned.
Right.
Well, Falfenzia may have it too.
Yes.
Just tell Cal when you get there that we could really use a restock on our guild store.
I will be sure to tell him.
Thank you,
Right.
and safe travels to the lot of you. Watch out for dragon eels and dragon turtles. I'm sure you can handle it.
Make sure. I don't want. I want to be like, and just make sure you keep the remainder of your family in check.
Yes.
Put up.
That's. Oh, do you actually say that, or are you just thinking it out loud?
No, I'm not gonna say it. We
Okay.
killed the man's brother. I'm evil, but I don't. I want to have him there on my side when I come back.
Okay.
When I stab him in the back, I want to make sure he trusts me.
Yes, the best stabbing in the back is from the. I can't believe it was you.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
best way to stab someone in the back is through the front.
It's make a stab him through the front and it comes out the back.
Loki, you've literally stabbed like 50 people in the back. Well, I won't do it again.
That was a great episode. It really was.
Spoilers!
Spoilers! Spoilers!
So
That scene's in the trailer.
let's do where we
He was
call
like,
it,
"That's in
and
the
then we can
trailer,
talk
you're
about
good."
all this. And we can talk about all this when we kill the stream. So, you get to your ship. You have the supplies, the fresh coal, the fresh peanuts loaded onto your ship. You're refueled, ready to go, and you set sail from the city of Kalimlux, where you fulfilled your first contract and became the silver-ranked adventuring party, the Sightless, with the Continental Falfanzia and the northeastern town of Glimward Rest in your future.
Yes.
How will this adventure for the Sightless begin? Well, clearly at first, by slaying vampires. Or not. We'll see. Unless anybody else has something to add, we can kill the stream after making sure that everybody else is all settled.
That was
Next
great.
time on D&D.
I'm gonna go ahead and say,
Dragon,
can I-
dragon. Enter the dragon.